Chapter 2303. Without resources, progress would be slow, or even impossible. Many ancient cultivators were like Qingjia. They had the ability to reach the next level, but without the support of resources, they would risk their lives. As for the divine soul uniting realm ancient cultivators, they were the strongest below the deity-destroying tribulation. However, in order to pass the deity-destroying tribulation, they worked hard to cultivate absolute arts. Cultivating absolute arts required the support of resources, so attacking a new world with resources was in line with the interests of all ancient cultivators. Qingjia's idea is not bad. Black Armor King nodded. Just now he was a little shaken, but then he gave up. He didn't have much lifespan left. If he didn't fight, he wasn't confident that he could pass the deity-destroying tribulation and still die. That's right. If there's a chance, we'll fight. After we go in, we'll plunder one round and then retreat. As for those who are caught and killed by him, they can only blame it on their own bad luck. The prostitute sighed. He saw with his own eyes how unlucky his two brothers, the Realm Lord Xianhua and the Second Realm Lord Xiancheng of the ancient Profound Ice Realm, fell in front of him. When passing through the spatial tunnel, Night Sorrow's doppelganger hid again. His original body went through the spatial tunnel. After a few stabs with the Samsara halberd, Xiancheng's soul was annihilated, leaving behind a spiritual nascent pearl. Haha! The predicament is finally over. Great! After returning to the core living area of the unparalleled Great Array, King Yawu roared and threw the memory crystal ball to Sect Elder Duan and the others. He was very happy. The heavenly concubine was a little distracted. She was also shocked. She knew Night Sorrow, but she didn't expect that Night Sorrow's combat power was at the level where he could kill a divine soul uniting realm cultivator in one move. With Night Sorrow at this level, the Demon Wing clan's end was near. Sect Elder Duan, the Golden Dragon King, and the others who were looking at the memory crystal ball kept clapping and cheering. They were clear about Xiancheng's strength and status. Night Sorrow killed him in a short period of time. This meant that the peak combat power of the celestial realm far surpassed the ancient cultivators. We still have to fight. These guys still haven't given up. Night Sorrow, who was drinking a cup of tea, shook his head helplessly. His doppelganger found out the plan of the Black Armor King and the others. What's going on? Why aren't they retreating? King Yawu was stunned for a moment. He felt that the ancient cultivators should retreat after seeing Night Sorrow's combat strength because it was easy to die if they attacked. We underestimated their desire for resources. I will fight in a while. Sect Elder Duan will control the array formation. If any ancient cultivators rush into the array formation recklessly, Uncle Master, Heavenly Concubine, you have to restrain them, said Night Sorrow. There are so many of them. If they attack without regard for anything else, the operation and consumption of the formation will indeed be great. King Yawu said. The unparalleled Grand Matrix was indeed powerful, but there were too many top ancient cultivators. There were 9 divine soul unification realm cultivators, and more than 20 cultivators of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Everyone knew how strong the impact was. I can only make the first move. Night Sorrow put down his teacup and shook his head. He passed through the poisonous smoke area and entered the space passageway. He walked side by side with his doppelganger, and walked toward the allied army of ancient cultivators. Seeing Night Sorrow appear, the Black Armor King, the prostitute, and the others in the ancient cultivators' camp were shocked. One Night Sorrow was already very terrifying. Now there were 2 of them. Their cultivation levels and the energy contained in their bodies were almost the same. I originally thought that killing Xiancheng would be a warning to you, and that you would retreat. However, the situation now is that you don't want to lose face. I gave you a way to live, but you want to walk the path of death. Then let's fight. After saying that, Night Sorrow and his doppelganger released their Dao domains and the Thousand Realms defense body. Then they charged toward the allied army of ancient cultivators. Over the years, every time the allied army of ancient cultivators had a plan to attack, Night Sorrow would take action to disrupt it. This was because the celestial realm was in great danger. Now that Night Sorrow had taken action, it was also to weaken the impact of the ancient cultivators on the celestial realm. Since Night Sorrow had attacked, The ancient cultivators naturally would not sit still and wait for death. Xiancheng had died in battle because they did not have time to support and rescue him. Now that Night Sorrow had appeared, they naturally had to kill him. They had to surround and kill him. This was partly because Night Sorrow was an obstacle to their invasion of the New World. Another reason was that Night Sorrow also represented resources. Working together to kill Night Sorrow was in the interest of all the ancient cultivators. A great battle. The true peak battle was a group battle to kill the strongest cultivators below the God Tribulation. Read novels for free forever. Energy shot in all directions. The void cracked, and spatial cracks filled the sky. Night Sorrow and his doppelganger cooperated in battle. His merit Dao domain was also released to the maximum. This time he did not hold back. He could not and did not need to hold back in this great battle. Ancient cultivators were constantly sent flying and severely injured by Night Sorrow. Green Armor and Extreme Flow were dead. Although there were 9 cultivators at the Divine Soul Integration realm besieging him, Night Sorrow's movement technique was fast. In addition, he did not care about the sputtering energy attacks. After dodging the attacks of Black Armor King and the others, Night Sorrow killed Green Armor and Extreme Flow first. How dare you come up with such a bad idea? I've said it before. If you have any ideas about the celestial realm, you have to die. After killing Green Armor, Night Sorrow roared. Black Armor King and the prostitute understood something. They had always been under Night Sorrow's surveillance. Green Armor had died because he had a plan to violently attack the celestial realm. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow had come out. After fighting for an hour, Night Sorrow had killed a Divine Soul Integration realm cultivator and several 9 Emperor's Tribulation ancient cultivators before retreating. He had consumed a lot of energy. If he continued fighting, his Thousand Realms defense body would not be in its best state. He would be easily injured. You guys continue to wait. Night Sorrow's body flew backward. As he flew backward, he became illusory. The ancient cultivators could not stop him. After Night Sorrow retreated, the remaining 8 cultivators at the Divine Soul Integration realm looked at each other. They were shocked. Under their all-out attack, Night Sorrow had a brilliant battle result. Moreover, he had retreated unscathed. He's at the peak of the 7 Emperor's Tribulation. Isn't this a lie? The prostitute cursed. He's not lying. His cultivation level is at this level. However, he's the Merit Emperor. He has 2 forbidden attributes. Moreover, his body cultivation level is beyond the true Qi realm. Black Armor King's expression was solemn. He had grasped several inheritances and knew some things. What do we do? An ancient cultivator at the Divine Soul Integration realm asked the prostitute and Black Armor King. The longer we delay, the harder it will be for us to defeat him. We've reached the point where we can't improve anymore. However, he's not. We're hindered now because we're being held back. The prostitute understood some things. Since he appeared at this time, it's obvious that he's afraid of us attacking together. Everyone, recover as fast as you can. After that, we'll fight. Whether we live or die will be up to fate. Black Armor King then entered a spatial treasure to cultivate. At this time, Night Sorrow had already begun to recover in the Clear Sky Pagoda. He wanted to recover to his peak state before entering the celestial realm. He did not want to give the Ancient Cultivator Alliance a chance to charge into the celestial realm. Chapter 2304. His body cultivation is unparalleled in the world, and his dual taboo attributes are unique. Coupled with the assistance of his Emperor-level merit cultivation, the human sovereign has the ability to crush others. Elder Duan said with some emotion after watching the memory crystal ball of Yishang's battle. His defense technique is also outstanding. It's a heaven-defying technique that can weaken the attacks of others. Coupled with his tyrannical body, he can ignore many attacks. This is the key to being unharmed in a group battle, said the Heavenly Concubine. Heavenly Concubine, what's Night Sorrow's defense technique? Why can't I understand? King Yawu asked. He was puzzled. He cultivated the Thousand Realms defense body. It should be at the level of 7 realms. When he uses the Thousand Realms defense body, there are 7 virtual realms around him. When the opponent's attack enters the virtual realm's defense body, it will be weakened. The heavenly concubine felt that there was nothing to hide. King Yawu was Night Sorrow's martial uncle. Elder Duan was also a respected senior. Such a heaven-defying technique. When did he inherit it? I've never heard of this before. Sect Elder Duan was stunned after hearing the heavenly concubine's words. When the two of us entered the ancient world to see the world tree, the Thousand Realms defense body is the world tree's defense technique, said the heavenly concubine. I see. I thought you told him. I remember that one of your ancestors cultivated the Thousand Realms defense body and was very successful. At that time the celestial realm fell, said King Yawu. He had seen the history books and thought that the heavenly concubine had taught Night Sorrow the Thousand Realms defense body. No, he knows that I know this technique. He didn't want to make things difficult for me, so he didn't ask me. He learned it from the tree spirit of the world tree. I just didn't expect him to achieve it so quickly. King Yawu nodded. He knew that he was wrong. After an hour, Night Sorrow recovered. Then his original body and avatar appeared at the entrance of the space tunnel. At this time, the cultivators of the Allied army had also recovered and were rushing toward the entrance of the space tunnel. Crazy! At this moment, Night Sorrow realized that he had underestimated the madness of ancient cultivators. For the sake of resources, they did not hesitate to sacrifice their lives. I'll kill whoever gets close first, Night Sorrow shouted. Following Night Sorrow's shout, the speed of the ancient cultivators slowed down. Some of them even stopped. This was selfishness. Everyone wanted to fight their way into the celestial realm, but no one wanted to be the target of Night Sorrow. No one wanted to be the first to stand out. Black Armor King and the others were very clear that Night Sorrow couldn't defeat 8 Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators, nor could he do anything to everyone. However, if anyone became Night Sorrow's target, then they would be out of luck. Why are you doing this? You all know very well that I am willing to pay any price to protect the world behind me. If you all want to charge, I will fight to the death. You all will definitely fall. Night Sorrow looked at Black Armor King, Hor, and the others as he spoke. How many of us can you stop by yourself? The Black Armor King asked sternly. He wanted to strangle Yisheng to death right now. It was Yisheng who had blocked his path. Even if you all charge in, what can you do? The world behind me is filled with my clansmen. Wherever you appear, I will know. Can you resist my pursuit? If I can't catch you in 10 years, I can catch you in 100 years or even 1,000 years. How long can you hide? There are some things that you need to think clearly before doing. Night Sorrow analyzed the pros and cons for Black Armor King and the others. Are you trying to scare us? Hor stared at Night Sorrow. He was even angrier than Black Armor King because he was the only one left among the 3 leaders of the ancient Profound Ice World. Although he was in charge of the ancient Profound Ice World, the ancient Profound Ice World's strength had been reduced. It was no longer a top force in the ancient world group. Don't yell at me. Don't force me to find someone to attack. I won't attack you for now. Think carefully. Night Sorrow finished speaking and left. His doppelganger stabbed the blood-chilling evil-slaying spear into the ground and sat down cross-legged. The current situation was that Night Sorrow didn't want to fight and the ancient cultivators didn't dare to fight. Retreat first. Black Armor King waved his hand. He knew that he had to think. At the very least, he couldn't be the one to stand out. The Hor wanted to say something, but he didn't. He didn't want to retreat, but now that the Black Armor King said to retreat, if he dared to say that he would fight, it would easily anger Night Sorrow and make Night Sorrow target him. Success. Night Sorrow knew that his strategy was useful. He used selfishness to make the ancient cultivators not united. As long as they were suspicious, he could buy some time. Seeing that Night Sorrow had returned, Lin Piaomiao poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. How's the situation? I scared them. If they attacked like a swarm of bees, it would be really troublesome. After all, the unparalleled formation's defense is limited. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, but how long can this scare them? Jun Xuanji, who had been staying here and didn't talk much, asked. There was no real battle and no big arrangements. Jun Xuanji usually didn't have much to do. She wasn't used to talking to seniors. I'm not trying to scare them. The human sovereign has already killed their top cultivators and intimidated them. Anyone who wants to make a move has to think twice. Huang Ling corrected Jun Xuanji. Let's wait and see. Night Sorrow exhaled. The situation now could change quickly. Maybe the ancient cultivators wouldn't attack, but maybe they would attack in the next moment. No one could predict. His clone guarded the spatial passage. Night Sorrow's main body relaxed. His chi realm was at the peak of the 7th Emperor tribulation, but he felt that it was too difficult to go through the tribulation directly. He still needed some time to stabilize. Also, he didn't dare to go. The ancient cultivators could attack at any time. Without his main body, the defense line could be easily broken. Currently, among the 100 races of the celestial realm, only King Yanwu, the heavenly concubine, and the Grand Elder could fight the ancient cultivators. Moreover, it was a one-on-one battle. Without Night Sorrow's main body, a large-scale attack by the ancient cultivators would be troublesome. Night Sorrow went to the base of the god-slaying squad. He drank 2 jars of wine with his brothers, and then ordered the god-slaying squad to retreat. Captain, the battle has begun. Let's fight side by side. Long Jin was reluctant to leave. He didn't want to leave Night Sorrow behind. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, "Thank you, brothers. I understand all of you. But the next battle will be decided by the defensive formation. If the defensive formation is broken, the 100 races of the celestial realm won't be able to hold on." Brother 13, what is the strength of the enemy? No matter who we ask, no one will talk about it. Tianyu stood beside Night Sorrow and asked. Chapter 2305. Brother 13, you have to be careful. We're brothers for life and we'll live and die together. Although we don't have the strength to fight now, we'll work hard. Night Sorrow said. I know. Everyone is working hard. You're right. We'll grow and fight together. We're brothers who will live and die together. All right, follow Long Jin and Tianyu and leave. Night Sorrow hugged Night Sorrow and nodded to Long Jin and Tianyu. Father, be careful. Yi Xiaoluo, who was in the god-slaying team, bowed to Night Sorrow. Sir, be careful. Lang Li Jingyu, Lu Yu and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. You're still young and have a long way to go. Stick to your dreams, and you'll have a bright future. Night Sorrow patted Lang Li's shoulder. Captain, be careful. Even if we fail this time, we can still make a comeback after we cultivate. Liang Yu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow patted Liang Yu and Yin Huang's shoulders and left. He then went to the First Army's camp. When Night Sorrow arrived, the First Army's men quickly gathered together. Zhuodong Linyuan, take your men and leave. Go to Tianhuang City or Shindu City. You can also go to Xingyue City. Night Sorrow nodded to Zhuodong and Linyuan and patted Lin Yu's shoulder. Commander, when will you be back? Lin Yu asked softly. Night Sorrow had helped her to wake up. After she came to the First Army, she and Night Sorrow were like siblings. 09 Little Say Net, I'll go back after I'm done. I can't leave now. Night Sorrow said. Commander, be careful. Lin Yu's eyes were filled with worry. She knew the situation wasn't good. I will. Night Sorrow smiled at Lin Yu. Night Sorrow returned to the unparalleled Great Array after the First Army's men left. Sect Elder Duan, Big Sister Xian Air, Seniors, please make the necessary arrangements. Our men will retreat to a safe area. We'll retreat to Ethereal Imperial City. If the Peerless Formation can't hold on, there's no point for the Heaven Wasteland Army to stay. It's not worth it to suffer losses, Night Sorrow said to Lin Piaomiao and Sect Elder Duan. The First Army and the God-Slaying Squad were Night Sorrow's direct subordinates, and other people's orders did not necessarily mean anything. Therefore, Night Sorrow personally ordered them to retreat. Elder Duan and the Golden Dragon King went to make arrangements. Night Sorrow followed Lin Piaomiao to the Humanitarian League's encampment. When Night Sorrow arrived, Pu Luo was practicing his fist art while the Great Demon King was practicing his swordsmanship. Both of them were very active in their training. After gesturing for them to sit down, Night Sorrow explained the situation. Pu Luo, bring the core members of your forces to the 9 Domains world. I'll make the necessary arrangements, Night Sorrow said to Pu Luo and the others. As for the Humanitarian League, Night Sorrow had thought about the arrangements. The Humanitarian League was a righteous force. Not only would it not affect the Nine Domains world, but it would also maintain the stability of the Nine Domains world. Once the arrangements are made, we'll return. Let's not talk about the men under us. We'll definitely fight alongside the League leader, Yuju said. All right, go ahead. The men here will retreat. Night Sorrow nodded. The Humanitarian League's men retreated, and so did the rest of the Heaven Wasteland army. This arrangement was made because Night Sorrow felt that if the defensive line was really breached, these men would be of no use and would suffer unnecessary losses. The men of the various divine beast races also retreated to the ethereal Imperial City, making it their second base. This was also Night Sorrow's idea. Night Sorrow's idea was that if the defensive line was breached, the first wave of powerful ancient cultivators would not be able to stop them. They would let these men go and avoid unnecessary losses. Then they would set up a defensive line, and not let the ancient cultivators enter the celestial realm endlessly. King Yawu, the elders of the Council of Elders, and the patriarchs of the divine beast races all agreed with Night Sorrow's arrangement. This was because it was a perfect backup plan. After everything was arranged, Night Sorrow, King Yawu, the heavenly concubine, and the others stayed in the living area of the Peerless Great Formation without any worries. Night Sorrow's doppelganger sat at the entrance of the spatial tunnel and monitored the situation of the ancient cultivators. The Black Armor King and the brothel were in a dilemma. Night Sorrow had already decided to fight to the death. The Black Armor King and the others knew this, so no one wanted to be targeted by Night Sorrow. What should we do? The brothel set up a barrier and asked the Black Armor King. It's not easy. That guy is very difficult to deal with now. Last time, when we surrounded him together, we still couldn't kill him. He even killed one of us. The Black Armor King sighed. He had to admit that Night Sorrow's strength was a fact placed in front of everyone. We can't waver. If this continues, we won't have the determination to fight to the death. The brothel said. Then what do you think we should do? We urgently need resources, but we can't really throw away our lives, right? If he catches one of us and bites to death, it will be fatal. If we fail the God-destroying tribulation and die, that's a matter for the future. If we act recklessly now, we will die immediately. The Black Armor King said. Let's call the others over and form a life and death alliance. When we enter the new world, we won't be separated. If we are together, it will be difficult for him to kill us alone. We will go in and start plundering. Once we've plundered enough resources, we will come back. When the time comes, we will divide the resources equally and go back to where they came from. The brothel said the idea he came up with. Original Y version AG head, Harry 5-inch Life and Death Alliance. When we are in their world, we won't be separated. We won't seek to kill the enemy, but only plunder the resources. After we return, the alliance will be voided, and we will go our separate ways? The Black Armor King repeated the brothel's idea in a low voice. Yes, that's what I mean. The brothel nodded. After pondering for a moment, the Black Armor King felt that it was feasible. He then used his soul to call the other Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators over. They started discussing under the barrier set up by the brothel. Then should we bring our subordinates? A man asked. He was the realm lord of the Fierce Gale realm, Lifeng. He had the most tribulation of 9 emperors cultivators under him. Let's make our own decision. If we bring them along, their lives will be up to fate. We can't do anything about it. As for whether they become cannon fodder or obtain an opportunity, that's their own business. The Black Armor King said. When everyone is discussing with your subordinates, pay attention to the energy barrier. That fella has been observing our movements. Don't let him discover us in advance, and then rush over to bite us. The brothel reminded the other Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators. Lifeng and the others nodded and left. They were all very cautious because they were afraid of being targeted by Night Sorrow. Xiancheng was targeted and died. Another Divine Soul Unity Realm ancient cultivator charged the fiercest towards Night Sorrow. He even cursed a few words. In the end, he was also killed by Night Sorrow. Chapter 2306. Night Sorrow took a look at the poisonous smoke bottle and put it away. He also gave up on the idea of killing them directly, because he said that he wouldn't take the initiative to attack. Martial Uncle, Heavenly Concubine, we might have to take action. Night Sorrow's original body explained the situation to King Yawu and Heavenly Concubine. Then he brought the two to the spatial passage. Are they really going to throw caution to the wind? They should know that you can easily kill them if they do so. Heavenly Concubine looked at the ancient cultivators and said, "We underestimated their thirst for resources and their madness. It seems like they won't stop until they die." Night Sorrow smiled bitterly. He had already determined that the ancient cultivators had no intention of retreating. They were still plotting and would definitely attack. It could be in a few days, or it could be in the next moment. Block them. We will do our best to block them. King Yawu said. They will charge. My original body and avatar will block them from the front. You don't have to worry about defense. Just pursue lethality. Night Sorrow said to King Yawu and Heavenly Concubine. King Yawu and Heavenly Concubine nodded. They knew that Night Sorrow's defense wouldn't have a problem blocking the spatial passage. The only problem was the consumption of energy. However, if the two of them attacked fiercely, the other side would be greatly suppressed. Then the pressure on Night Sorrow would be relatively smaller, and the damage he would suffer would be less. Heavenly Concubine, thank you. King Yawu cupped his hands towards Heavenly Concubine. Lord Yawu, you are too polite. Now that we are fighting side by side, there is no need to say these things. Heavenly Concubine was stunned. As a former opponent, she knew King Yawu too well. King Yawu's character was unbending and unyielding. He would rather be injured in battle than take half a step back. But today, he cupped his hands and thanked her. It is what I should do. King Yawu shook his head. They are coming. These lunatics are starting to charge. That's good. Night Sorrow finished speaking. His original body also finished speaking and charged out. At this moment, the ancient cultivators had already made their move. Between the 8 divine soul unification realm ancient cultivators, there was a thin black chain connecting them. This was to prevent them from being scattered by the array's energy and getting lost in the array. Of course, this would limit their speed and agility. However, the prostitute had said that dodging was useless against Night Sorrow. They were not as fast as Night Sorrow. The most effective method was for the 8 of them to go all out and attack Night Sorrow head-on. Night Sorrow had decided to take action now because he didn't want these people to rush to the entrance of the spatial tunnel. That way, all the attacks would converge at the entrance of the spatial tunnel. In a situation where they couldn't dodge, it wouldn't be easy to withstand. Even if they could, the consumption would be astonishing. There was no verbal communication. Both sides knew that they would not rest until one of them was dead. Night Sorrow used the 7 realms defense body, space-time realm, and void step to kill the 8 people in the brothel. His main target was the brothel. He knew that the change in the situation had started from the brothel. It had started when the brothel had found the Black Armor King. Kill. The 8 members of the brothel began bombarding Night Sorrow with their energy. The space-time realm hid in the void before reappearing. A spear light struck the body of the brothel. The team was still charging forward. This caused the brothel that had been shot by Night Sorrow to change his expression. If the team continued to charge forward, they could charge into the spatial passageway or past it, but he would be unlucky. Defeat him first. Otherwise, we will be defeated one by one. I will be the first to die. You guys will be the next. The brothel shouted. Night Sorrow's body flashed and dodged the blade of the brothel. Following that, he executed his spear art again. Since they have given up on their flexibility, let's kill them together. King Yawu, who was at the entrance of the spatial tunnel, said. Night Sorrow's clone did not object. He continued to kill his way out. The ancient cultivators had given up on fighting separately. They had lost their flexibility. Although their offensive power was strong, their effectiveness was low. King Yawu and the Heavenly Concubine were both experts in the Divine Soul Unity realm. They were not afraid of facing any Divine Soul Unity realm expert alone. Now the other party was only relying on their energy bombardment. It was not a threat to them. Instead, the 2's sharp attacks made the brothel and the others feel very uncomfortable. Figures surged. Both parties started fighting outside the spatial tunnel entrance. However, they were still moving towards the spatial tunnel entrance. This was the main purpose and goal of the ancient cultivators. They were not trying to kill Night Sorrow, King Yawu, and the heavenly concubine. They were trying to break through the interception and enter the celestial realm. Merit Dao Domain. Night Sorrow's original body and his clone both executed the Merit Taboo Primordial Dao Domain. They suppressed the brothel and the others before continuing to kill them. Night Sorrow's main target was the brothel. It was the same for King Yawu and the heavenly concubine. They were targeting Night Sorrow. Brothel, come to the middle of us. Black Armor King shouted. He knew that if this continued, the brothel would fall. And after the brothel fell, Night Sorrow's next target would be him. Black Armor King was very clear about this. Therefore, he wanted to let the brothel live. This way, the alliance's strength would not be damaged. It was also in line with his personal interests. The brothel retreated to the middle of the 8 people. Night Sorrow could not attack. No matter which direction he attacked from, the ancient cultivators would attack with their blades violently. They would use their energy to suppress him. Night Sorrow, don't attack forcefully. We will hold them back. If they continue to bombard him, their energy consumption will be greater than ours. King Yawu's soul spirit transmission rang in Night Sorrow's spirit sea. At this moment, the heavenly concubine also looked at Night Sorrow. She had also received King Yawu's transmission. Nodding at the heavenly concubine, Night Sorrow's battle strategy changed. He no longer attacked forcefully. After attacking, he would dodge and change his target. Although the movements of the brothel and the others were restricted, they were still very fast. They kept moving toward the spatial passageway. The ancient cultivator team entered the spatial passageway. Night Sorrow and the other 2 did not restrict them because the spatial passageway was not big. With a group of people fighting inside, there was little space to dodge. After exiting the spatial passageway, the Dao domains of the ancient cultivators, Night Sorrow, and the others were all in vibrating mode. They did not allow the smoke to touch them. Charge directly. Black Armor King shouted. You can forgive the sins of the heavens, but you can't survive the sins you bring upon yourself. If you take this step, none of you will be able to return alive, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow's voice was very calm, but the Black Armor King and the others were shocked. Night Sorrow's words were not a threat. Instead, they were like an oath and a prophecy. Descend. Suppress. Yi Shang shouted. As Yi Shang said those words, the power of his Merit Taboo Dao Domain rose to a whole new level. The Dao Domain was filled with the power of the world. This was Yi Shang's word law, augmenting his combat strength. Night Sorrow did not use it in the ancient world because there was no world origin power. Thus, verbal law did not have much power. However, it could be used in the celestial realm. Don't worry about this. Charge directly. Black Armor King was a little scared. He wanted to be as far away from Night Sorrow as possible. The other ancient cultivators were the same. They knew that danger was coming. If they did not avoid Night Sorrow, they would be in danger of dying. XK looks at and use original version. P chapter UO. Black Armor King and the others insisted on entering the array. Night Sorrow and the others could not stop them. Chapter 2307. Their movements were restricted, and they were being attacked by the formation. This made the Black Armor King and the others feel very uncomfortable. The pressure was great, and the consumption was great. This was fatal to them. Night Sorrow, his doppelganger, King Yawu, and the heavenly concubine were like fish in water. They relied on the formation to defend, and they only needed to consider attacking. The Grand Elder controlled the formation, and used the formation to gather the energy of heaven and earth to attack. He continuously depleted the Black Armor King and the others' strength. The Black Armor King and the others could only rely on the black chains to communicate and charge forward. The prostitute, who didn't have anyone to help her, was constantly attacked by Night Sorrow, King Yawu, and the heavenly concubine. The Black Armor King and the others were focused on their own defense. They couldn't tell which energy came from the formation, and which came from the real person. The prostitute was frightened by the continuous attacks. She kept roaring and shaking the black chains for help, but where was the help? The other ancient cultivators hit her in the middle, but they couldn't block the attacks of Night Sorrow and the others. After a while, the prostitute's body collapsed. Her soul left her body and ran away. She regretted it. She came up with the idea and was targeted by Night Sorrow. In the end, she fell into this situation. Could the prostitute's soul leave her body and run away? The answer was no. Night Sorrow used the human emperor's seal to envelop the prostitute's soul and burn it. Part 6D of Section 6D of the new chapter The Black Armor King and the others had heavy hearts. Although they didn't see it, they knew something had happened to the prostitute because the chains connected to her stopped shaking. The battle continued. In the time it took to drink a cup of tea, the prostitute's soul was completely destroyed by the fire of virtue. The prostitute is dead. Next, Night Sorrow shouted. The Black Armor King and the others didn't say anything. They continued to charge in one direction. They didn't care if they consumed a lot of energy. Night Sorrow communicated with King Yawu and the Heavenly Concubine, and set their target on a relatively weaker ancient cultivator. As for the cultivators of the tribulation of the 9 emperors, they couldn't care about them now. They could only let the White Tiger King and the Golden Dragon King intercept them. They did this because the Peerless Formation couldn't stop the Black Armor King and the others from charging in one direction. They had to attack them effectively before they rushed out of the formation. Fall down. With Night Sorrow's true body blocking in front, Black Armor King and the others had their movement speed slowed down. Another Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivator was killed. Come on, next one. Night Sorrow spoke after killing another one. What Black Armor King and the others didn't want to hear the most was Night Sorrow's voice, because it was a death sentence. Whenever Night Sorrow opened his mouth, someone would fall. The massacre was still going on. The Black Armor King and the others were consuming more and more of their energy. However, they were getting closer and closer to the edge of the unparalleled Great Array. The Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators were very powerful. They relied on the chains to determine their position. They were charging in the right direction and weren't affected by the illusion. Night Sorrow, King Yawu, and the Heavenly Concubine's attacks became more violent. They had to kill 1 or 2 more people before the Black Armor King and the others rushed out. That way, the strength of both sides would be closer. The battle was still going on. However, Night Sorrow also made a backup plan. He left a soul imprint on the robes of the Black Armor King and the others. At this time, he was certain that it was impossible to trap the Black Armor King and the others in the formation. The Black Armor King and the others would definitely run away. King Yawu and the Heavenly Concubine were also going crazy. They knew that the Black Armor King and the others weren't far away. They only had a small chance to expand their victory. When the Black Armor King and the others rushed out of the formation area, other than the heavily injured Black Armor King, there were still 4 Divine Soul Unity Realm ancient cultivators. The 5 of them directly burned their essence blood to escape. Night Sorrow's clone chased after them while his true body blocked King Yawu and the Heavenly Concubine. Not chasing. King Yawu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "If we chase now, both sides will burn their essence blood. It's not worth it. My clone will follow and rely on the soul imprint to lock onto them. They won't be able to escape. Let's deal with the other ancient cultivators who entered the formation first." Night Sorrow said to King Yawu and the Heavenly Concubine. Night Sorrow had considered this arrangement. The Black Armor King and the others were crazy. They didn't care about burning their essence blood. If they chased after them, they would have to burn their essence blood too. The consequences would be very serious. In addition, there were still many ancient cultivators trapped in the unparalleled Great Array. If they didn't deal with them, it would be a big problem. If the formation collapsed, all the ancient cultivators would rush in. Can you confirm their location? They won't get lost? The Heavenly Concubine asked. Normally speaking, they won't. There are only 5 of them now. We can deal with them here and stabilize the formation. It's not too late to deal with them slowly. Night Sorrow nodded. Then his true body entered the formation and started killing the other ancient cultivators who entered the formation. There were too many ancient cultivators. There was also the problem of consumption. After half a day, Night Sorrow and the others finally cleaned up the formation. Night Sorrow brought Sect Elder Duan and the others to the living area at the core of the formation. Then he brewed a pot of tea. Let me make a summary first. Then, we can discuss the next plan. Night Sorrow said. Tell us. We'll do it. King Bloodlin said. They already knew the results of Night Sorrow, King Yawu, and the Heavenly Concubine. Then Night Sorrow made a summary and gave his opinion. Night Sorrow felt that the ancient cultivators rushing into the celestial realm was a bad thing. However, it was also relative. Now that the Black Armor King and the others had escaped, the unparalleled Great Array would be stable. The remaining ancient cultivators wouldn't be able to break through. In other words, they only needed to think about dealing with the 5 ancient cultivators. That's right. On the surface, it looks like our defense has failed. However, we killed 3 of their Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators. That's close to half of their peak combat power. In fact, we won. King Yawu nodded. Next, we'll completely eliminate the danger at the spatial passageway. Later, let the Heaven Desolate Steel Guards and the First Army come over. We'll bring our men out and kill a few waves. We'll completely defeat the ancient cultivators here. Night Sorrow said. Starting an all-out war. Night Sorrow planned to move out with the ancient cultivators while they were without a leader. He planned to directly engage in a decisive battle and completely eliminate the danger at the spatial passageway. Okay. I'll send the order immediately. Let the men teleport over. Lin Pyongmiao nodded. Although the defensive line had been broken, everyone's heart wasn't heavy at all. That was because there were only 10 ancient cultivators at the Unity of Divine Soul Realm at the beginning. However, under the circumstances where the Heaven Realm's troops didn't fall, half of them were killed. These guys are still running. However, they didn't split up. The situation isn't too difficult to deal with. Night Sorrow smiled. His doppelganger had been using the soul imprint to lock onto the situation of the Black Armor King and the others. Therefore, he could make a clear judgment. Chapter 2308. Yes, let's settle this first. Those 5 guys are now running towards the depths of the wasteland. Among them, the Black Armor King is seriously injured, and the other 4 are also injured to varying degrees. They probably want to go to a place where no one is around to heal. They won't make any big moves for the time being. Night Sorrow said. Now his doppelganger was far behind the Black Armor King and the others, confirming their direction and intentions. Although they entered the celestial realm, they're scared out of their wits. They won't dare to move recklessly. King Yawu nodded. He felt that the Black Armor King and the others wouldn't dare to move recklessly. They ran into the wasteland to avoid trouble. Then, the Heaven Wasteland Army of the Celestial Realm, the Humanitarian League, and the Divine Beast Clan's troops once again arrived at the spatial passage. What's going on? Let's go to Y. Night Sorrow, you don't have to fight. You stay here and guard this place. Heavenly Concubine Elder Duan, and I will lead the troops out to defeat the remaining troops and stabilize this place, King Yawu said. That's fine. If you encounter any problems, Martial Uncle can crush my soul crystal. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided not to fight. First of all, the Black Armor King and the others were in an unstable situation. They could start killing and plundering at any time. His original body had to be prepared to fight at any time. In addition, he was in a state of relaxation and consolidation. This way, he would get closer to the tribulation. Tribulation of the 8th Emperor. Night Sorrow felt that once he entered the tribulation of the 8th Emperor, his combat power would increase a little. He would have a more obvious advantage against the Black Armor King and the others. Night Sorrow's wife and son were fighting. His daughter Yi Xiaolei accompanied him at the spatial passage. Daughter, your elder sister and second brother are married. You have to hurry up, Night Sorrow said with a smile as he drank the tea made by his daughter. No, I'll accompany father, mother, and aunts, Yi Xiaolei said with a smile. Haha. Your elder sister said the same thing. Night Sorrow laughed. He was in a good mood. The Black Armor King and the others had escaped, but it wasn't a disaster. Since the Black Armor King and the others didn't move, he wasn't in a hurry. In addition, Night Sorrow knew that it would be very difficult for Black Armor King and the others to recover without a long period of time. This time was enough for him to enter the 8 Emperor Tribulation. As for the ancient cultivators in the spatial tunnel, their levels were generally not high. King Yawu, the heavenly concubine, and sect elder Duan led the team to clear them out. Father, you can kill Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators. You are already invincible. In the future, you can return to the city in the sky and live a peaceful life. No one will be able to threaten the stability of our world and hometown, Yishale said. Her heart ached for her father. Her father had been out fighting all year round, and she knew how much he had sacrificed. Soon, hard work will always pay off. Knight Sorrow nodded. Far away in the heavenly desolation city, Tran Hung and the elders of the Council of Elders were watching Knight Sorrow's battle in the crystal ball. Their eyes were full of excitement, because they knew that after a period of time, the celestial realm would truly be stabilized. Lord Castellan, the young Castellan is too powerful, the elder of the Zhaixing sect said. In the future, he is no longer the young Castellan. He is the human sovereign, Tran Hung said. Hearing Tran Hung's words, the others nodded. Everyone understood what Tran Hung meant. Knight Sorrow did not need to be the young Castellan. Everyone had to follow the orders of the human sovereign. Haha. We are growing so fast. It is true that all the heroes look to the present. Our generation is destined to be recorded in the history books. Our era is the beginning of the glory of the 100 races in the celestial realm, Tran Hung said with a laugh. Yes, Your Majesty can now kill Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators. After entering the 8 Emperor Tribulation, you will have a great advantage. When you enter the 9 Emperor Tribulation, you can try to break the Demon Imperial City, Qin Qianjie said. Your Majesty, the more successful you are, the more afraid I am. Fortunately, my mistake did not lead to a disaster. Otherwise, even 1,000 cuts would not be enough to atone for my sins, Xiao Jun said with some emotion. When he banished Knight Sorrow to the celestial wasteland, it left a shadow in his heart. Elder Xiao, you are overthinking. My great prophecy technique was effective. I knew that he would be fine, so I did not stop him. So there is no need to think too much. Tran Hung shook his head. He did not want Xiao Jun to bear the pressure. Hearing Tran Hung's words, Xiao Jun heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that Knight Sorrow's return was not a fluke. With Tran Hung's attention, Knight Sorrow would not fall in the celestial wasteland. We cannot let down our guard. The human sovereign and King Yawu have stabilized the situation. If something happens on our side, we will lose face, Tran Hung said. Rest assured, Your Majesty. Xiao Jun and the others bowed. Knight Sorrow's rise made them feel at ease, but they also knew that this was a special time. Knight Sorrow was relaxing every day. Other than that, he would give guidance to Yi Xiaolei's cultivation. As for Yi Xiaoluo, Yi Xiaokei, and Yi Lingxi, they followed Lin Piaomiao and Datura out to fight. Knight Sorrow's doppelganger confirmed that the Black Armor King and the others had stopped moving in the depths of the celestial wasteland. He knew that they would be safe for a while. At this moment, in a forest deep in the celestial wasteland, the Black Armor King and the others sat facing each other. The Supreme World is indeed different from our ancient world without an origin, Lai Feng said. That's right. It is worth risking our lives to come here. Another ancient cultivator said. Let's hurry up and recover. We have to be careful. The celestial realm is very complicated. The main thing is that there are cultivators who can kill us. If we are not careful, we will die. We have to follow our original plan. We cannot split up or we will be defeated one by one, the Black Armor King said. The Black Armor King said. He was the most afraid right now. He was in his weakest state, and he needed the most time to recover. He understood these people too well. Black Armor King, don't worry. Although we are anxious to get resources, we will not act alone. Caution is the key to success. We can afford the time to recover, Lai Feng said. The others also nodded, but 2 of them glanced at Lai Feng. Lai Feng did have some ulterior motives. With the Black Armor King around, the other 4 would not become Knight Sorrow's main target. The group of people entered their respective spatial treasures and began to recover and cultivate. At this moment, Night Sorrow's doppelganger, who was sitting cross-legged, stood up. Why? Because his soul imprint had suddenly disappeared. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's doppelganger nodded. He understood. There was nothing to be alarmed about. The 5 of them had disappeared, which meant that they had entered their space treasures. It would not be wrong for him to wait here. You guys recover. I will also cultivate slowly. Night Sorrow's doppelganger continued to meditate. Night Sorrow's original body, who was outside the ancient world's passageway, smiled. Then he asked Yi Xiaolei to make a pot of tea. Father is in a good mood. Yi Xiaolei smiled. Chapter 2309. I don't know much about the big picture. As long as you are happy, Yi Xiaolei said with a smile. Haha. You really don't need to know about the big picture. You just need to live happily. Night Sorrow patted Yi Xiaolei's shoulder. He knew that his daughter's personality was the same as Yang Lei's. They were both simple and straightforward. Night Sorrow stayed at the entrance of the spatial tunnel. He analyzed the information sent back by the spies every day. The 3 teams led by King Yawu, Heavenly Concubine, and Grand Elder were progressing smoothly. They completely defeated the ancient cultivators. Most of them were killed. The war had been going on for 2 years in the real world. Everyone in the celestial realm had returned. The area around the spatial tunnel was completely empty. The ancient cultivators didn't dare to come close. Night Sorrow, leave the defense here to me. You can relax and see how to deal with those troublemakers, Elder Duan said. That's fine. Those guys won't come back until they are forced to do something desperate. They won't attack here either, Night Sorrow said. Okay, I will send you a message if anything happens. Elder Duan nodded. Night Sorrow brought the god-slaying team, the first leader, his wife, children, and heavenly concubine to Night Moon Villa in ethereal Imperial City. King Yawu also came. After sitting down, King Yawu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, Night Sorrow, what do you plan to do next? I know where those 5 guys are, but I don't want to touch them now. I plan to stabilize myself and pass the tribulation of the 8 emperors first. It will be difficult for those 5 to recover without thousands of years. If I have time, it will be easier to deal with them in the future. If I want to do it, I will kill them. I can't give them a chance to run around, Night Sorrow said. You're right. Let's go and kill them now. If we can't finish them off in one fell swoop, it'll be troublesome if they run around randomly. You just focus on your cultivation. I'll stay here and maintain the connection between Tianhuang City and the ancient world's passageway. If anything happens, I'll be able to make arrangements immediately. King Yawu agreed with Night Sorrow's suggestion. I'll keep an eye on those 5 people. Senior uncle, you don't have to worry. I do plan on going home to rest for a while, Night Sorrow said with a smile. King Yawu nodded. He understood that Night Sorrow really needed to relax. Night Sorrow and his family left the celestial realm and returned to the 9 Domains world. When he arrived at 9 Zones world, Night Sorrow went to the back of Ceiling Sky Hall to look at the world tree. The world tree had grown very tall, and part of its body was already in space. With a smile, Night Sorrow took the teleportation portal back to Sky City. After sitting down at home, Night Sorrow asked, 6th senior sister, how's Medicine Valley doing? Very good. Medicine Valley is back on track. It's back to the Medicine Valley we were familiar with, Aoi said with a smile. That's good. Father, how's Night Moon Dynasty? Night Sorrow looked at his father. It's rare for you to come home. You should rest well. Night Moon is doing well. Our Yi family is very strict with ourselves, Yi Wuyo said. Night Sorrow nodded. He was most worried that Medicine Valley and Night Moon Dynasty weren't developing well and weren't taking the right path. $G- there are too many external forces in 9 Zones world. It's inevitable that there will be some conflicts in development. There are some things that need to be restrained. Of course, we can't just tolerate if we're bullied. There's a limit to it. Night Sorrow looked at Yi Nianxiao. Yi Nianxiao had dealt with Night Moon Dynasty a lot. Brother, don't worry. I'll take care of Night Moon's matters. You should relax now that you're home. Yi Nianxiao poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. That's right. Since we're home, we should take a rest. No matter what, father, Let's have a good drink tonight, and drink until we're drunk. Yi Shang looked at Yi Wuyo and Father Gu as he spoke. Sure. Then let's drink until we're drunk. Old man Gu nodded with a smile. After drinking with his family, Night Sorrow went to rest. He had been very tired all these years. Now he could finally see some light. After accompanying his wife for a few days, Night Sorrow boarded the boat on the lake and let it drift with the wind. Sailing the boat on the lake was what Night Sorrow enjoyed the most. It was also the most relaxing. He didn't think about anything else. As the wooden boat trembled, Heavenly Concubine appeared on it. Feel the wind? Night Sorrow sat up and threw the blanket that he had prepared for his family on the boat. That's good. I've never experienced this feeling before. Heavenly Concubine and Night Sorrow were separated by a tea table as they lay down on the soft couch. Tell me the truth. Are you used to the 9 regions world? Night Sorrow asked. I'm used to it. I've never been this relaxed. When we went to the ancient world, I was thinking about this place. I wanted to drink a cup of hot tea by the lake after the battle and listen to the waves, Heavenly Concubine said. It's good that you're used to it. I hope you can live well, Night Sorrow said. I'm living well now. There are some things that can't affect me. There are some things that you might not be as open-minded as me. When you mention them, you're even careful, but I can face them calmly. Heavenly Concubine turned to look at Night Sorrow with a smile in her eyes. There are 2 things that can affect you. One is Jun Xuanji. You don't like her, but she's my friend, so it's difficult for you to get along with her, Night Sorrow said. It's not difficult. She's her and I'm me. I'll tell you the second thing. You're worried that when you fight with the Demon Wing clan, I'll be troubled, right? The celestial realm doesn't have the dangers of the ancient cultivators, so I won't leave the 9 regions world. You don't need to tell me about the Demon Wing clan and I won't ask about it. We've fought for 1,000 reincarnations, and it's time for it to end. It's good for both sides. We'll have a new beginning, Heavenly Concubine said. A new beginning. You're right. There are some things that I'm worried about. Come, try the tea I made. Night Sorrow began to make tea. I have to drink the tea made by the Merit Emperor, Heavenly Concubine said with a smile. Hearing Heavenly Concubine's words, Night Sorrow's worries disappeared. As a friend, he had always been worried that Heavenly Concubine would feel pressured and unable to get over some things. But now he no longer had that worry. Right, Jujuyun, be careful. I feel that something isn't right, Heavenly Concubine said. I don't quite understand what you're saying. Night Sorrow shook his head. The Demon Wing clan has records that the Demon Queen will be born with 2 horns. She has 2 horns, Heavenly Concubine said. You're thinking too much. The Netherworld race is all like that, Night Sorrow said with a big laugh. Can you be any more foolish? I naturally have my reasons for saying that. I'm not going to bother with you, Heavenly Concubine said and leaned back on the couch. Night Sorrow was a bit stunned. Heavenly Concubine wouldn't mention this for no reason. If she did, then there must be a problem. Chapter 23:10. You forever H forever. Free to look at Chi, Little You said. Is it related to you, to the Demon Wing clan? Is it the same as Jun Xuanji? Night Sorrow asked. The Heavenly Concubine didn't say anything. There were some things she didn't want to talk about because it involved problems she didn't want to face. Night Sorrow's body flashed and left the wooden boat. He went to the city in the sky and took the teleportation array to the Night Moon Villa. Long Jin Xuanji, where's Juyun? Night Sorrow asked after arriving at the God-slaying team's encampment. I don't know. I haven't seen her since she followed me to the ancient world's spatial tunnel, Jun Xuanji said. I only saw her that time. She left after that. I don't know the details. Long Jin shook his head. Night Sorrow, what happened? Lin Piaomiao, who discovered that Night Sorrow had left the city in the sky, chased after him. Yi Shang looked at Lin Piaomiao and told her to mobilize the Council of Elders, the Castle of Fiend Gods, the Human Dao Alliance, and the other factions. They had to find Zhu Jiyun and send him to the 9 Realms world as soon as possible. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She didn't ask why. She knew that Night Sorrow had his reasons for making such arrangements. Night Sorrow didn't say anything to the others and returned to the 9 Domain world. Actually, he already knew that Zhu Juyin might be the same as Jun Xuanji. She was also a reincarnated soul, and had a lot to do with the Demon Wing clan. The heavenly concubine discovered some clues, but because of the Demon Wing clan, she didn't say anything. The situation wasn't good. Those who could reincarnate were all experts. After merging with the reincarnation, their strength would increase. Night Sorrow didn't know whose reincarnation Zhu Juyun was. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian were both men. Their reincarnations wouldn't be women. He didn't know which expert in the Demon Wing clan was a woman. After returning to the 9-domain world, Night Sorrow sat on the wooden boat again. The heavenly concubine was still there. Dealt with. The heavenly concubine poured a cup of water for Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow held his teacup and thought for a moment before saying, I don't know. She's already gone. Maybe she already knows something. Normally, she shouldn't disappear in front of people. The heavenly concubine shook her head and didn't say anything. Night Sorrow didn't ask either. He wouldn't ask the heavenly concubine about anything related to the Demon Wing race. He didn't like to force people. Actually, it's nothing. Your cultivation is about to reach the 8 Emperor Tribulation. No matter who it is, as long as they haven't passed the God-destroying tribulation, they won't be your match. There's nothing to worry about, said the heavenly concubine. You're right, but I don't want to lose a friend. Night Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief. Zhu Juyin had followed him into battle many times, so he was loyal to him. So that's what you think. I understand now. Heavenly concubine looked at Night Sorrow and nodded. She thought that Night Sorrow was considering threats, but now she understood that Night Sorrow did not want to lose his friends. Heavenly concubine knew that she had underestimated Night Sorrow. She had underestimated Night Sorrow. Leaning against the soft couch, Night Sorrow thought. He knew that the celestial realm had spies of the Demon Wing race. The Demon Wing race definitely had a way to transmit information. They might even have a teleportation array. If something happened to Zhu Juyin, some things would be out of control. After arranging for people to search, Night Sorrow could only wait for news. He could only deal with this matter if he found Zhu Juyin. But in fact, Zhu Juyin seemed to have evaporated. The people of the celestial realm searched together, but they couldn't find him. After resting in the city and the sky for 2 months, Night Sorrow went through his tribulation. He went through the 8 Emperor Tribulation, which was slightly weaker than the 7 Emperor Tribulation. He raised his Qi realm to the 8 Emperor Tribulation. Then he went into seclusion in the Clear Sky Pagoda for a while to stabilize his cultivation. After successfully passing the tribulation, the Yi family naturally had a big celebration. Night Sorrow also invited the heavenly concubine. Are you running out of resources again? I'll think of a way to buy some for you, Lin Piamiao said after drinking a cup of wine with Night Sorrow. There's no need. When I fought against the ancient cultivators, I killed some of the ancient cultivators with powerful bodies. I've collected all of their blood essence. My following cultivation won't be a problem, Yi Sorrow said with a smile. Using battle to nurture battle. Your cultivation method is really impressive. I can't help but admire you. The heavenly concubine raised her wine cup at Night Sorrow. Do you think I want to? This is forcing me to walk this path, Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13. You are showing off a little, Yang Lei said after filling Night Sorrow's wine cup to the brim. After Yang Lei said that, everyone laughed. Night Sorrow's Qi realm had also reached the 8 Emperor Tribulation. Everyone was very relaxed. During the chat, Night Sorrow asked about the current situation of the 9-domain world. Currently, the Council of Elders and the 9-domain Commander's residents are handling the follow-up arrangements for the migration. The Ice Phoenix race's Grand Elder Huang Ling and Auntie Fei brought people to the 9-domain world to cooperate with Grandfather and the 2 deputy commanders. They also set up a law enforcement team. The law enforcement team is joint. There are law enforcers from the God's capital and Heaven Desolate Steel Guards. They are enforcing the laws set by the commander's residence. Lin Piamiao explained the situation to Night Sorrow. In fact, she was in charge of the communication, but she made the arrangements. Then there shouldn't be a problem. Night Sorrow nodded. There won't be a problem. Lord Tranhung and Marshal Uncle have emphasized this point. The migrants must follow the rules of the 9-domain world. No matter which race causes trouble, they must be dealt with strictly, Lin Piaomiao said. The 9-domain world is very big now. Many places are uninhabited. It is a good thing that other races are coming to the 9-domain world to develop. Of course, where there is life, there will be competition. Some things can be dealt with slowly, Yi Wuyo said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was relieved now because the mainstream had formed. Even if there were bad people, they wouldn't dare to act recklessly. You're not going to go into seclusion again, are you? You need to rest more, Always said to Knight Sorrow. I'll stay at home with you. Knight Sorrow smiled. In fact, Knight Sorrow really wanted to go into seclusion to cultivate his body. He wanted to raise his body to the tribulation of 9 emperors as soon as possible. However, in order to accompany his family, he made some arrangements. He wanted the 9-domain doppelganger to stop researching the 1,000 realms defensive body and come back to accompany his family, while his main body cultivated. Mother, you don't have to worry. The highest realm for cultivators is the tribulation of 9 emperors, which is the soul uniting realm. No matter how much my father cultivates, he won't be able to reach the tribulation of 10 emperors. He will reach the limit soon. At that time, he won't be able to cultivate even if he wants to, Yi Qingyan said with a smile. Hearing Yi Qingyan's words, everyone laughed. However, Lin Piaomiao felt a little depressed. She knew that Knight Sorrow's path was blocked by the God-destroying tribulation. Only by passing the God-destroying tribulation could he truly become Wuyu. Now was not the time. In the following days, Knight Sorrow's main body went into seclusion in the Sky Ceiling Hall. His 9-domain doppelganger returned to the city in the sky. In addition, his battle doppelganger in the celestial realm slowly investigated and found the exact location of the spatial treasure of Black Armor King and the others. Chapter 23:11. Combat was a combination of offense and defense. Knight Sorrow relied on the space-time realm and the 1,000 worlds defensive body. As for his body, it was the unparalleled virtuous Dao body. The 1,000 worlds defensive body was formed by Knight Sorrow's 7th realm. However, it was not fully developed yet. The 1,000 worlds defensive body was different from other absolute arts. Once an absolute art was mastered, it would be completed. However, every additional realm of the 1,000 worlds defensive body had to be carefully constructed, so that it would not clash with the previous realm. In the city in the sky, Knight Sorrow's 9-domain doppelgangers were no different from the main body except for the fact that they could not have sex. One could even say that only the heavenly concubine could tell that he was a doppelganger. Without sufficient cultivation, one would not be able to tell the difference between the soul of the main body and the doppelganger. Time passed slowly. Knight Sorrow's cultivation increased rapidly. However, he was still worried that there was no news of Zhu Juyun. Knight Sorrow also understood that when Zhu Juyun reappeared, she would be a different person. Not only in terms of memory, but also in terms of cultivation. When the reincarnated body awakened, it would have the cultivation experience and memories of the original body. The cultivation realm would still be there. It was only through time that one could cultivate without any bottlenecks. In addition, Yishan had some gains from his investigations. The most outstanding woman in the history of the Demon Wing clan was not the heavenly concubine, but 2 other people. One was called Demon Jade Concubine, who was the leader of the Demon Wing clan. The other was even more famous, Demon Ancestor. Knight Sorrow was shocked to find out that the Devil Ancestor was a woman. He always thought that the Devil Ancestor was a man. Who would have thought that she was a woman? Knight Sorrow knew that if it was Mo Yufei, it would not be a big problem. She was just a divine soul unity realm expert. However, if it was the Devil Ancestor, it would be a big problem. The Devil Ancestor was the cultivator closest to the Divine Emperor realm in the history of the Devil Wing clan. Standing on the wooden boat and allowing the waves to push it forward, Yishang stood with his hands behind his back as he pondered these questions. He had to ponder because he had to shoulder these questions. Are you confused? The heavenly concubine and Lin Piaomiao landed on the wooden boat. And a little. There are some things that I don't quite understand, Knight Sorrow said. Tell me, maybe I'll know. After all, I'm much older than you. Heavenly Concubine smiled and sat next to Lin Piao on the soft mattress. What is the situation like when a soul reincarnates? Both in peak condition and on the verge of death? What's the longest duration? Night Sorrow asked. I do know about that. It doesn't matter if the soul is reincarnated in a peak state or in a near-death state. The success of the reincarnation depends on luck. After reincarnating, they won't have any memories, so they're no different from other cultivators. They might be a bit more outstanding, but some cultivators who mature late have average cultivation talent. They don't have any advantages in the early stages, so it's very easy for them to fall. The Heavenly Concubine explained, and then talked about the time. There was no way to control the time. If it was a prepared soul reincarnation, then the time would be shorter and the location could be determined. If it was a soul reincarnation that was on the brink of death, then it was hard to say. The soul power of a high-level cultivator was solidified. Even if it drifted for endless years, it would not be destroyed. No one knew how long it would take, and no one knew where it would end up. And I can't be sure. It's not a big deal to choose one of the two. Night Sorrow turned around and sat down facing the Heavenly Concubine and Lin Piao. Lin Piao took out some food from the food box and placed it on the table. You're always on the wooden boat and don't go back. Yang Lei even said that she'll give birth to a fat son for you. Haha. It's almost impossible for me to have a descendant now. I've realized that. Night Sorrow laughed. The higher one's achievement, the harder it was to have a descendant. This was a law. Night Sorrow cultivated to become a functional great emperor. His body was close to the tribulation of 9 emperors. His body was like a crystal, and his inherited genes were too strong. Therefore, it was almost impossible for him to have a descendant. Impossible? We have a lot of time. Not necessarily. Lin Piao shook her head. Is it appropriate for you husband and wife to say this in front of a woman who has been single all her life? The Heavenly Concubine mumbled. What's wrong with that? It's not like you don't know anything. Night Sorrow smiled. Me? Piao, let me tell you why he doesn't go back to accompany you. It's because this isn't his original body. His clone naturally can't consider having a child with you. The Heavenly Concubine glared at Night Sorrow and began to reveal the truth. Night Sorrow, you? Lin Piao was stunned. She really didn't know about Night Sorrow's body transformation. Sister Xianer, don't blame me. Now that we are in a precarious situation, I have to work hard. My body isn't far from the tribulation of 9 emperors. I plan to make a breakthrough. This way it will be much easier to kill Black Armored King and the other 4. Also, I won't hide it from you. Zhu Juyun is the reincarnation of one of the 2 experts of the Demon Wing clan. Furthermore, he might have already awakened. If it's Demon Jade Concubine, then it's still better. She's only an expert in the Divine Soul Unity realm. She might even be an invincible expert. This isn't considered scary. If it's the reincarnation of the demon ancestor's soul, then the problem is serious. Night Sorrow opened a wine jar and said, Night Sorrow, your investigation is very thorough. The Heavenly Concubine looked at Night Sorrow and said, It's very likely that it's the demon ancestor. With 2 golden horns on his head, he's the demon emperor. This is the prophecy of the Demon Wing clan, right? Night Sorrow smiled. The Heavenly Concubine let out a breath and took a big gulp of wine. Let's talk about Zhu Juyun. Actually, I've already betrayed the Demon Wing clan. I shouldn't call it betrayal. I've made a choice. I've chosen to live as a person of the 9-domain world. Then I'll tell you more details. Following which, the Heavenly Concubine explained the reason why she discovered Zhu Juyun's problem. Mo Tianji had possessed Zhu Juyun's doppelganger once. However, because the doppelganger didn't have any bloodline genes, she didn't discover anything. She only felt that the 2 golden horns on his head were a prophecy. However, this time, when she saw Zhu Juyun at the ancient world's spatial passageway, the Heavenly Concubine felt the same bloodline. It could even be said that there was a suppressive force. It's naturally easy to analyze if the bloodline is the same. She's from the Demon Wing clan. However, there's a suppressive force on me. That's where the problem arises. In the history of the Demon Wing clan, there are only 2 women who have greater achievements than me. One of them is stronger than me. However, it's impossible for her to suppress me. She's the demon jade concubine that you guys are talking about. There's only one person who can suppress me. That person is the demon ancestor who failed the god-destroying tribulation, but is infinitely close to the divine emperor realm. The heavenly concubine confirmed Night Sorrow's analysis. It's good that it's confirmed. All that's left is to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. I'll send people to continue digging her out. Lin Piaomiao's expression was very serious because this was a crisis for Night Sorrow. There's no need to dig her out. When she and Jun Xuanji arrived at the ancient world's spatial passageway, the two of us met. When I was suspicious, she left. The two of us know what happened. Do you think you'll still dig her out? The heavenly concubine shook her head. ESD unspecified currency / that means she's already awakened? Night Sorrow was stunned. Chapter 23:12. According to your deduction, she has already awakened for some time, but no one knows about it. Ha! Night Sorrow smiled bitterly, because this meant that Zhu Juyun had already made her choice. Don't think too much. The devil ancestor's original body is very powerful, and her reincarnation was awakened without being affected. Naturally, the will of the original body is the main body. In fact, the reincarnation is just a doppelganger. It's just that her cultivation is not enough. The heavenly concubine looked at Night Sorrow and said, "We were once friends who went through life and death together, but when we meet again, we have to fight. I really don't want that." Night Sorrow sighed. This is something that can't be helped. It's fate. It's not that you want to give up on your friendship. It's that she gave up on your friendship after awakening. The heavenly concubine saw the reason for Night Sorrow's sadness. We have different standpoints, so there's nothing to talk about. What's Zhu Juyun's cultivation? Lin Piaomiao looked at the heavenly concubine and asked. I can't tell. She should have cultivated some secret technique. The devil ancestor's foundation is very deep. I don't know what kind of secret technique she has, but judging from her aura, she should be at the early stage of the emperor tribulation. The heavenly concubine thought for a while and estimated Zhu Juyun's strength. The devil ancestor's awakening is inevitable, but it will take some time. This is my chance to improve. Also, the situation of the 100 races in the celestial realm is no longer a secret. Night Sorrow drank a mouthful of wine and said, Yes, she knows the situation of the 100 races in the celestial realm very well. She might not know about you recently, but she also knows about your past. The heavenly concubine nodded. Night Sorrow thought for a while, and felt that Zhu Juyun should know about his situation before she went to the spatial passage with Jun Xuanji. After seeing the heavenly concubine, she would not move around in the celestial realm for fear of being exposed. She was not clear about his recent battle strength. I have to speed up. Once my body and cultivation reach the 9 Emperor Tribulation level, I will attack and end the war before the devil ancestor awakens. Night Sorrow made a decision. At this time, in front of the devil ancestor's palace in the devil imperial city, Mo Yuqing reported the situation to Mo Zhantian. What did you say? That woman has a pair of golden horns on her head, and her bloodline is suppressing you to the point that you can't even think about fighting? Mo Zhantian looked at Dark Feather with some surprise. Yes, she asked me to send a message back. She said that the devil imperial city is no longer stable, and the body of the devil ancestor must be moved. She said that there is an alternate dimension below the sacrificial tower, and the body of the devil ancestor must be moved into that alternate dimension to await his awakening. This news can only be relayed to the divine ancestor. Dark Feather replied. Mo Zhantian paced back and forth, the expression on his face constantly changing. He then looked at Dark Feather and issued an order, completely following the instructions of this woman. Those with golden horns are the demon emperor. Is she from our Demon Wing clan? Dark Feather asked. That's right. He might be the reincarnation of Lord Devil Ancestor's soul. Otherwise, he wouldn't know the current situation of Lord Devil Ancestor's true body. Furthermore, with the suppression of the bloodline, it's impossible for the other races to keep the secret and pass on the information. Mo Gentian did not hide anything from Darkfeather. Look at section T of the V/K version. G-Feather understands. That lady, that is Lord Devil Ancestor, said that the Merit Great Emperor of the 100 races of the celestial realm has emerged, and the fire of merit of the Great Emperor level is indestructible. The defense of the Devil Imperial City may not necessarily be unbreakable, so there must be a backup plan. Darkfeather explained. Ask Lord Devil Ancestor if there are any other instructions after placing her body in the alternate dimension. Mo Gentian said to Darkfeather. With the connection between Darkfeather's true body and avatar, Zhu Juyun made some arrangements, made some plans for retreat, and made plans for the Devil Imperial City after it was breached. Zhu Juyun had the memories of her true body, and knew some legends about the Merit Great Emperor. She was worried that the Devil Imperial City would not be able to withstand the attack of Night Sorrow, so she arranged for the Demon-Winged clan to hide her body and wait for her to awaken. In addition, except for the main combat personnel, all of them retreated to Heaven Wasteland Domain, and to the subsidiary domains of Heaven Wasteland Domain. Zhu Juyun also instructed Mo Gentian to forge a halberd. The Great Desolate halberd used by Zhu Juyun had been refined by Night Sorrow into the Samsara halberd. She no longer had a suitable weapon. If she met Night Sorrow again, it would be a life-and-death battle, and there would be no possibility of taking back her weapon. Originally, Zhu Juyun should have said that Demon Nine Clouds left the ancient world through the space passage and planned to return to the Nine Domains world to hide, but she felt that this would not work. She was worried that the heavenly concubine would leak the news, and then she would be isolated from the Nine Domains world, and would have no contact with her true body. The awakening of her true body was more troublesome. In terms of battle prowess, Mo Juyun felt that Yishang was invincible in the Nine Domain world as long as his true body did not awaken. She was no match for him either, so she could not take the risk. After making the arrangements, Demon Nine Clouds planned to cultivate in seclusion. Over the years, she had paid attention to collecting resources. She had obtained a lot from Jun Xuanji and the God-slaying team, and it was enough for her to use for now. Reporting to my lord, Divine Ancestor Gentian has already followed your instructions. Do you have any other orders? Mo Yuqing bowed to Demon Nine Clouds and said, set up the teleportation formation. We are ready to return at any time. Also, the Heaven Wasteland army is on a rampage. Think of a way to control a Heaven Wasteland soldier, and see if you can mix in with the Heaven Wasteland army. This way we can have an extra route without activating the teleportation formation. Demon Nine Clouds ordered. After sending away the demon-winged race, Demon Nine Clouds looked at the sky with his hands behind his back. Send someone to find me. Night Sorrow. It seems that you already know that some things are destined. There will be a battle to the death between us. If you die in battle, I will erect a monument for you. Demon Nine Clouds was different from Jun Xuanji. When she awakened, she was not disturbed and her soul was not sealed. Therefore, after awakening, her true body and awakened body were united. She was different from Jun Xuanji, who had awakened body's thoughts. Jun Xuanji Mo Tianji. Demon Nine Clouds shook her head. Her will was as strong as steel. She did not say anything about the heavenly concubine's choice, nor did she contact them. She was even avoiding them. Everyone had their own ambitions. Demon Nine Clouds knew this very well. Night Sorrow knew about Demon Nine Clouds. He was under a lot of pressure and was naturally motivated. Night Sorrow knew that he was now strong enough to deal with the Black Armor King and the others. At most, it would take some effort. The Black Armor King and the others could not overthrow the rule of the Celestial Realm. However, the Demon Ancestor was different. When the Demon Ancestor awakened, he would be a half-step Divine Emperor. He had the strength to wipe out the experts of the Celestial Realm. Not to mention other things, just one person's continuous assassination would exhaust the strength of the 100 races of the Celestial Realm. Then the Celestial Realm would change and become the Demon-Winged race's sky. While Night Sorrow was thinking, the Qing Emperor came and told Night Sorrow that Tran Hung had arrived at Xingyue City. Night Sorrow asked the Qing Emperor to invite Tran Hung to Juyu City. He invited Tran Hung into the City Lord's mansion. The City Lord must be here for Zhu Jiyun, right? Night Sorrow asked after sitting down. Chapter 23:13. It's very serious. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from Tran Hung. He told her everything he knew and predicted. The situation is indeed very complicated. The Demon Wing clan is too powerful. 2 of them have successfully reincarnated. The 100 clans of the Celestial Realm can't do that. Tran Hung shook her head. Not really. The original owner of the Wasteland Tower, Shura Empress Yi Tianxin, hasn't completely died. I don't know what's going on. If she's successfully reincarnated, she should have returned. It's the end of the world, a great era, Night Sorrow said. We can't count on that. After all, it's too illusory. Let's follow your plan. Before the demon ancestor awakens, we should destroy the demon imperial city and their foundation. Then we can talk about other things. Even if we lose temporarily, the 100 clans can rise in the future and defeat the Demon Wing clan without the unbreakable fortress, Tran Hung said. I understand. Zhu Juyun is now in the elementary emperor tribulation. She still needs time. I'll definitely be faster than her. Also, it's impossible to kill her before she awakens. Zhu Juyun used to be the leader of the Nether Realm around the 9 regions world. She has a strong sense of strategy. She'll have prepared some backup plans. After all, the Demon Wing clan has spies in the Celestial Realm. They're well informed. I think they've already made some backup plans, Night Sorrow said. You mean we can't avoid a direct battle with the awakened demon ancestor? Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow seriously. This was a great crisis. No one knew how powerful a half-step divine emperor was. In the last reincarnation, when the demon ancestor fought, she was in a state of tribulation. She didn't have any battle power after she died. We can't avoid it. We have to fight to the death. Only then will we be able to determine who the ruler of the Celestial Realm will be. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Zhu Juyun was a talented person. He used to be a strategic commander, but he was blocked by him and Jun Xuanji. The real danger is that after she revives, her realm will be high, and her lifespan will be calculated according to her reincarnation. She who has seen the power of the deity-destroying tribulation may be able to survive it. Tran Hung reached out and slammed the table. He was a little annoyed. The situation that was originally very promising had changed again. I'll try my best. Even if she's a half-step divine emperor, I'm not afraid. Night Sorrow's robe shook. He had confidence in himself and he had the courage to fight. You are the most talented person in the history of the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm. Be it in terms of attributes, body, or achievements, you have far surpassed other practitioners. Soul, you must pay attention to the cultivation of your soul. When you go through the deity-destroying tribulation, your body and soul must not have any shortcomings or flaws. Tran Hung reminded Night Sorrow. Lord Tran Hung, I've obtained some soul-nurturing grass. Please take a look. Night Sorrow smiled and brought Tran Hung to the soul-nurturing palace in the heaven-sealing palace hall. This is a treasure that aids the cultivation of the soul. Tran Hung was very surprised when he saw the green soul-nurturing grass. Yes, my soul is at the 8th Emperor Tribulation, but the quantity and quality are not at the same level. Therefore, my soul is not a weakness. Lord Tran Hung, please take some back and give some to my martial uncle. Night Sorrow said to Tran Hung. He had thought about this before, but he didn't have the time to arrange it. Haha, okay. Your original body is cultivating here. It is indeed blessed by the heavens. The devil ancestor has hopes of going through the deity-destroying tribulation. Your talent is much higher than hers. You can also go through the deity-destroying tribulation. Tran Hung said to Night Sorrow's original body, who was sitting in the middle of the soul-nurturing palace. I am also confident. Night Sorrow also smiled. Be careful in the future. If we are confident, we will fight them. If we are not, we will hibernate and cultivate. In a battle of the peak, we cannot fight when others are ready. We also have to increase our strength to the point where we cannot increase it. If we fail in that situation, we will not regret it. Tran Hung nodded to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and then collected some soul-nurturing grass for Tran Hung. I will go and refine it into an elixir to strengthen my soul. Tran Hung did not stand on ceremony and took the soul-nurturing grass. Night Sorrow collected some more. Lord Tran Hung, Please bring these to my martial uncle. If you and martial uncle don't have enough, you can come and get more. Okay, with you we will not stand on ceremony. Although our chances of going through the deity-destroying tribulation are not high, we still have to give it a try. At the very least, we can increase our battle strength. Not to mention the devil ancestor, it will be easy to take care of Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian, Tran Hung said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He had chatted with Elder Duan before and knew that Tran Hung and King Yawu were the most outstanding cultivators in the recent reincarnations. They still had a chance to go through the deity-destroying tribulation. After sending Tran Hung to the teleportation array, Knight Sorrow returned to the city in the sky. The 9-domain doppelganger could not leave the 9-domain world. This was also destined. When he reached the city in the sky, Knight Sorrow asked Lin Piaomiao to call Jun Xuanji back. Jun Xuanji, who had been informed by Lin Piaomiao's doppelganger, also went to the city in the sky. First release Knight Sorrow. I know about Juyun's matter. I am responsible for it, so I did not think in that direction. Jun Xuanji apologized. Let's not talk about this. I called you back to confirm something. Was it Juyun's original body or doppelganger that was with you all these years? Or was it both her original body and doppelganger with you? Knight Sorrow asked. He wanted to confirm whether Zhu Juyun's doppelganger was in the 9-domain world. If it was, it would be a crisis. When I went to the ancient domain world with her, it was my doppelganger that went with me. My original body and I stayed in the divine capital. After that, we disappeared, Jun Xuanji said. In recent years, Juyun has not entered the 9-domain world. This means that her original body and doppelganger are in the celestial realm. Our 9-domain world is stable. After confirming, Knight Sorrow felt more at ease. He had to ensure the safety of his family and the people around him. How can this be? Why can't Juyun let go of the past? Jun Xuanji's face was filled with pain because the feelings between them were very deep. People who walk different paths cannot make plans together. This is something that cannot be helped. I, Knight Sorrow, will fight to the death to protect the 9-domain world and the celestial realm. She knows this. Since she has chosen to be an enemy, I have no other choice. Please forgive me. Knight Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji and said. I understand and I support your decision. No matter what your feelings are, a position is a position. Jun Xuanji nodded. If you feel that it is difficult, then come back. Don't participate in this war, Knight Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji. No, you said it yourself. Feelings are feelings, but standpoints are standpoints. If I see her again, I'll just ask her one question. Is our feelings really beneath her? Is there a need for her to run away? Jun Xuanji exhaled. Chapter 23:14. According to your deduction, she has already awakened for some time, but no one knows about it. Haha. Knight Sorrow smiled bitterly, because this meant that Zhu Juyun had already made her choice. Don't think too much. The devil ancestor's original body is very powerful, and her reincarnation was awakened without being affected. Naturally, the will of the original body is the main body. In fact, the reincarnation is just a doppelganger. It's just that her cultivation is not enough. The heavenly concubine looked at Knight Sorrow and said, We were once friends who went through life and death together. But when we meet again, we have to fight. I really don't want that. Knight Sorrow sighed. This is something that can't be helped. It's fate. It's not that you want to give up on your friendship. It's that she gave up on your friendship after awakening. The heavenly concubine saw the reason for Knight Sorrow's sadness. Our standpoints are different, so there's nothing to talk about. What's Zhu Juyun's cultivation? Lin Piaomiao looked at the heavenly concubine and asked. I can't tell. She should be cultivating some secret technique. The devil ancestor's foundation is very deep. I don't know what kind of secret technique she has, but judging from her aura, she should be at the early stage of the emperor tribulation. The heavenly concubine thought for a while and estimated Zhu Juyun's strength. The devil ancestor's awakening is inevitable, but it will take some time. This is my chance to improve. Also, the situation of the 100 races in the celestial realm is no longer a secret. Knight Sorrow drank a mouthful of wine and said, Yes, she knows the situation of the 100 races in the celestial realm very well. She might not know about you recently, but she also knows about your past. The heavenly concubine nodded. Night Sorrow thought for a while, and felt that Zhu Juyin should know about his situation before she went to the spatial passage with Jun Xuanji. After seeing the heavenly concubine, she should not be moving around in the celestial realm for fear of being exposed. She should not be clear about his recent battle strength. I must speed up. When my body and cultivation reach the 9 Emperor Tribulation level, I will attack and end the war before the Devil Ancestor awakens. Night Sorrow made a decision. At this time, in front of the Devil Ancestor's palace in the Devil Imperial City, Mo Yuqing reported the situation to Mo Zhantian. What did you say? That woman has a pair of golden horns on her head, and her bloodline is suppressing you to the point that you can't even think about fighting? Mo Zhantian looked at Dark Feather with some surprise. Yes, she asked me to send a message back. She said that the Devil Imperial City is no longer stable, and the body of the Devil Ancestor must be moved. She said that there is an alternate dimension below the sacrificial tower, and the body of the Devil Ancestor must be moved into that alternate dimension to await his awakening. This news can only be relayed to the Divine Ancestor. Dark Feather replied. Mo Zhantian paced back and forth, the expression on his face constantly changing. He then looked at Dark Feather and issued an order, completely following the instructions of this woman. #FirstDT. Those with golden horns are the Demon Emperor. Is she from our Demon Wing clan? Dark Feather asked. Yes, she may be the reincarnation of the soul of the Devil Ancestor. Otherwise, she would not know the current situation of the Devil Ancestor. In addition, with bloodline suppression, it is impossible for other races to keep a secret and pass on the information. Mo Zhantian did not hide anything from Dark Feather. Feather understands. That lady, that is the Devil Ancestor, said that the Merit Great Emperor of the 100 races of the celestial realm has emerged, and the fire of merit of the Great Emperor level is indestructible. The defense of the Devil Imperial City may not necessarily be unbreakable, so there must be a backup plan. Dark Feather explained. Ask the Devil Ancestor if there are any other instructions after placing her body in the alternate dimension. Mo Zhantian said to Dark Feather. With the connection between Dark Feather's original body and avatar, Zhu Juyin made some arrangements, made some plans for retreat, and made plans for the Devil Imperial City after it was breached. Zhu Juyin had the memories of her original body, and knew some legends about the Merit Great Emperor. She was worried that the Devil Imperial City would not be able to withstand the attack of Night Sorrow, so she arranged for the Demon-Winged clan to hide her body and wait for her to awaken. In addition, except for the main combat personnel, all of them retreated to the Heaven Wasteland domain, and to the subsidiary domains of the Heaven Wasteland domain. Zhu Juyin also instructed Mo Zhantian to forge a halberd. The great desolate halberd used by her original body had been refined by Night Sorrow into the Samsara halberd. She no longer had a suitable weapon. If she met Night Sorrow again, it would be a fight to the death, and there would be no possibility of taking back her weapon. Originally, Zhu Juyin should have said that Demon Nine Clouds left the ancient world through the space passage, and planned to return to the Nine Domains world to hide, but she felt that this would not work. She was worried that the heavenly concubine would leak the news, and then she would be isolated from the Nine Domains world, and would not be able to contact her original body. It would be more troublesome for her original body to awaken. In terms of combat strength, Demon Nine Clouds felt that if her original body did not awaken, Night Sorrow would be invincible in the Nine Domains world, and she would not be able to do it either. Therefore, she could not take the risk. After the arrangements were made, Demon Nine Clouds planned to cultivate in seclusion. Over the years, she had paid attention to collecting resources. She had obtained a lot from Jun Xuanji and the God-slaying team, and it was enough for her to use for now. Reporting to my lord, Divine Ancestor Zhantian has already followed your instructions. Do you have any other orders? Mo Yuqing bowed to Demon Nine Clouds and said, set up the teleportation formation. We will return at any time. Also, the Heaven Wasteland army is on a rampage. Think of a way to control a Heaven Wasteland soldier, and see if you can mix in with the Heaven Wasteland army. This way, we will have an extra route without activating the teleportation formation, Demon Nine Clouds ordered. After sending away the demon winged race, Demon Nine Clouds looked at the horizon with his hands behind his back. Send someone to find me. Night Sorrow, it seems that you already know that some things are predestined. You and I are destined to fight to the death. If you die in battle, I will erect a tombstone for you. Demon Nine Clouds was different from Jun Xuanji. When she awakened, she was not disturbed, and her soul was not sealed. Therefore, after awakening, her original body and awakened body's will and thoughts were united. She was different from Jun Xuanji, who had awakened body's thoughts. Jun Xuanji Emotianji. Demon Nine Clouds shook her head. Her will was as strong as iron. She did not say anything about the heavenly concubine's choice, nor did she contact them. She was even avoiding them. Everyone had their own ambitions. Demon Nine Clouds knew this very well. Night Sorrow knew about Demon Nine Clouds' matter. He felt great pressure and motivation. Night Sorrow knew that he was now strong enough to deal with the Black Armor King and the others. At most, it would take some effort. The Black Armor King and the others could not overthrow the Celestial Realm's rule over the Celestial Realm. However, the Demon Ancestor was different. When the Demon Ancestor awakened, he would be a half-step Divine Emperor. He had the strength to wipe out the experts of the Celestial Realm. Not to mention other things, just one person's continuous assassination would exhaust the strength of the Celestial Realm's races. Then the Celestial Realm would change. It would become the Demon Winged Race's sky. While Night Sorrow was thinking, the Qing Emperor came and told Night Sorrow that Tran Hung had arrived at Qingyue City. Night Sorrow asked the Qing Emperor to invite Tran Hung to Jiuyu City. He invited Tran Hung into the City Lord's mansion. City Lord, you must be here for Zhu Jiuyin, right? Night Sorrow asked after sitting down. Chapter 23:15. It's very serious. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from Tran Hung. He told her everything he knew and predicted. The situation is indeed very complicated. The Demon Wing clan is too strong. 2 of them have successfully reincarnated. The 100 clans of the Celestial Realm can't do that. Tran Hung shook her head. Not really. The original owner of the Wasteland Tower, Shura Empress Yi Tianqin, didn't completely die. I don't know what happened, but if she was successfully reincarnated, she should have returned. It's the end of the world, a great era, Night Sorrow said. We can't count on that. After all, it's too illusory. Let's follow your plan. Before the Demon Ancestor awakens, we should destroy the Demon Imperial City and the foundation they rely on. Then we can talk about other things. Even if we lose temporarily, the 100 clans can rise in the future and defeat the Demon Wing clan without the unbreakable fortress, Tran Hung said. I understand. Zhu Jiuyin is now in the elementary Emperor tribulation. She still needs time. I'll definitely be faster than her. Also, it's impossible to kill her before she awakens. Zhu Jiuyin used to be the leader of the Netherworld around the 9 regions world. She has a strong sense of strategy. She'll have prepared some backup plans. After all, the Demon Wing clan has spies in the Celestial Realm. They're well informed. I think they've already made some backup plans, Night Sorrow said. You mean we can't avoid the battle with the awakened Demon Ancestor? Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow seriously. This was a great crisis. No one knew how powerful a half-step Divine Emperor was. In the last reincarnation, when the Demon Ancestor fought, she was in a state of tribulation. She didn't have any battle power after she died. We can't avoid it. We have to fight to the death. Only then will we be able to determine who the ruler of the Celestial Realm will be. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Zhu Jiuyin was a talented person. He used to be a strategic commander, but he was blocked by him and Jun Xuanji. The real danger is that after she revives, her realm will be high, and her lifespan will be calculated according to her reincarnation. She, who has seen the power of the deity destroying tribulation, may be able to survive it. Tran Hung reached out and slammed the table. He was a little annoyed. The situation that was originally very promising had changed again. I'll try my best. Even if she's a half-step Divine Emperor, I'm not afraid. Night Sorrow's robe shook. He had confidence in himself, he had the courage to fight. You are the one with the highest potential in the history of the 100 races of the celestial realm. Be it in terms of attributes, body, or achievements, you have far surpassed other practitioners. You must pay attention to the cultivation of your soul. When you go through the deity-destroying tribulation, your body and soul must not have any shortcomings or flaws. Tranhung reminded Night Sorrow. Lord Tranhung, I've obtained some soul-nourishing grass. Please take a look. Night Sorrow smiled and brought Tranhung to the soul-nourishing palace of the Heaven-Sealing Palace. This is a treasure that can help the cultivation of the soul. Tranhung was very surprised when he saw the green soul-nourishing grass. Yes, my soul is at the level of the 8 Emperors' tribulation, but the quantity and quality are not at the level of the 8 Emperors' tribulation. Therefore, my soul is not a weakness. Lord Tranhung, please take some back and give some to my martial uncle, Night Sorrow said to Tranhung. He had thought about this before, but he didn't have the time to arrange it. Haha, okay. Your original body is cultivating here, so you are indeed blessed by the heavens. The devil ancestor has hopes of going through the deity-destroying tribulation. Your talent is much higher than hers, so you can also go through the deity-destroying tribulation. Tranhung looked at Night Sorrow's original body, who was cultivating in the middle of the soul-nourishing palace, and smiled. I am also confident. Night Sorrow also smiled. Be careful in the future. If we are confident, we will fight them. If we are not, then we will hibernate and cultivate. In a battle of the pinnacle, we cannot fight when others are ready. We have to increase our strength to the point where we cannot increase it before fighting. In that case, there is no regret if we lose. Tranhung nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and then collected some soul-nourishing grass for Tranhung. I will go and refine it into an elixir to strengthen my soul. Tranhung did not stand on ceremony, and kept the soul-nourishing grass. Night Sorrow collected some more. Lord Tranhung, please bring these to my Uncle Master. If you and Uncle Master don't have enough, you can come and get more. Okay, with you we will not stand on ceremony. Although our chances of going through the deity-destroying tribulation are not high, we still have to give it a try. At the very least, we can increase our battle strength. Not to mention the devil ancestor, it will be easy to take care of Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian, Tranhung said. Night Sorrow nodded. He had chatted with Elder Duan before and knew that Tranhung and King Yawu were the most outstanding cultivators in the recent reincarnations. They still had a chance to go through the deity-destroying tribulation. After sending Tranhung to the teleportation array, Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky. The 9-domain doppelganger could not leave the 9-domain world. This was also destined. When he arrived at the city in the sky, Night Sorrow asked Lin Piaomiao to call Jun Xuanji back. See Chapter G section of the O.O. $0. F. Jun Xuanji, who had been informed by Lin Piaomiao's doppelganger, had already arrived at the city in the sky. Night Sorrow, I know about Juyun's matter. I am responsible for it, so I did not think in that direction. Jun Xuanji apologized. Let's not talk about this. I called you back to confirm some things. Was it Juyun's original body or doppelganger that was with you all these years? Or was both her original body and doppelganger with you? Night Sorrow asked. He wanted to confirm if Zhu Juyun's doppelganger was in the 9-domain world. If it was, then it would be a crisis. When I went to the ancient domain's spatial passageway with her, it was her doppelganger that went with me. Both of us stayed in the divine capital and disappeared after that, Jun Xuanji said. In recent years, Juyun did not enter the 9-domain world. This means that both her original body and doppelganger are in the celestial realm. Our 9-domain world is stable. After confirming this, Night Sorrow felt a little more at ease. He had to ensure the safety of his family and the people around him. How can this be? Why can't Juyun let go of the past? Jun Xuanji's face was filled with pain because the feelings between them were very deep. People who walk different paths cannot make plans together. This is something that cannot be helped. I, Night Sorrow, will fight to the death to protect the 9-domain world and the celestial realm. She knows this. Since she chose to be an enemy, I have no other choice. Please forgive me, Night Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji and said, I understand and I support your decision. Regardless of personal feelings, a standpoint is a standpoint. Jun Xuanji nodded. If you feel that it is difficult, then come back. Don't participate in this war. Night Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji and said, No, you said it yourself. Feelings are feelings, but standpoints are standpoints. If I see her again, I'll just ask her one question. Is our feelings really beneath her? Is there a need for her to run away? Jun Xuanji exhaled. Chapter 23:16. Maybe it's because of my situation. She's worried that the 100 clans of the celestial realm would use force, Jun Xuanji said after hearing Night Sorrow's words. That's not right. Back then, I respected your opinion and asked for your opinion before asking someone to seal your soul. However, her situation is indeed different from yours. Before you awakened, your doppelganger had self-awareness and could see things rationally. However, she awakened directly. Her will is the will of the main body, so it's different, Night Sorrow said. Yes, that's why she's worried. If she's worried, it means that you didn't give her a chance to leave. She's not willing to take this risk, Jun Xuanji nodded. She still underestimated our friendship. Let's not talk about this anymore. If there's a battle in the future, let's fight, Night Sorrow sighed. She knows what happened between us. She even blamed me, saying that I didn't cherish our friendship, and that it was because of me that we were unfamiliar with each other. All these things are still vivid in my mind. However, she suddenly left, Jun Xuanji said softly after seeing that there was no one around. She felt a little sad in her heart. Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. This was something he didn't expect. Then I'll return to the Humanitarian League first, Jun Xuanji said. This is my soul crystal. Take it. If she appears and comes to find you, crush it. I want to talk to her. Night Sorrow handed Jun Xuanji a soul crystal. Jun Xuanji had left. Actually, Yishang didn't want her to go to the heaven realm. Zhu Juyun had sided with the Devil Wing clan, which meant that they would be mortal enemies in the future. She knew about Jun Xuanji's matter. If she harmed Jun Xuanji and used him as a hostage, Yishang would hesitate to act because he couldn't just ignore it. While Yishang was deep in thought, his wives arrived. Are you worried about Xuanji's safety? I'll inform Guardian Shiyue and the others to pay more attention to the Humanitarian League. Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Indeed, we have to be careful. Zhu Juyun understands us too well. In the past, we understood Zhu Juyun. But now we don't know what the demon ancestor does. It's possible that she hates Heavenly Concubine and Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow nodded at Lin Piaomiao. He felt that there was no harm in holding back. After that, Night Sorrow told his family and children not to go to the celestial realm as often as possible. The 9-domain world was close to becoming a sub-supreme world, and training in the 9-domain world was the same. One Lin Piaomiao and the rest understood Night Sorrow's concerns. Datura gathered all the children together and ordered them to be grounded. In the Yi family, the children of Night Sorrow and the others were most afraid of Datura, followed by Yang Lei because the two of them were the strictest. Auntie, I still have friends in the Misty Dynasty, Yi Xiaoke said softly. I only told you not to go out. I didn't say not to let others come. Can't you let others come? Datura glared at Yi Xiaoke. Oh, thank you, Auntie. Yi Xiaoke shrunk his neck. What are you talking about? Just listen. You talk a lot of nonsense. Lin Piaomiao looked at her son unhappily. After chatting with his wife and children for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at Heavenly Concubine's residence. It's rare for you to come to my territory. Heavenly Concubine smiled and invited Night Sorrow to sit down. This is my territory. How did it become yours? What's yours is yours. Night Sorrow said as he sat down. Are you feeling pressured? Heavenly Concubine looked at Night Sorrow and asked. A little bit. It's mainly because I'm a little sad. Zhu Juyun once fought with me and went through fire and water with me many times. However, the next time we meet, it might be with weapons. Night Sorrow shook his head. Being loyal is your strength. However, there are some things that you have to be clear about. Fire and water are incompatible. The will of the ancestor devil is the will of the Devil Wing clan. She must fight for the Devil Wing clan and conquer the celestial realm, and even the 9-domain world for the Devil Wing clan. There is no room for negotiation. Heavenly Concubine said, "In the future, you will stay in the 9-domain world and don't go out. I will take care of these matters. Even if there is a problem with me, my 9-domain avatars in the 9-domain world have combat strength that far surpasses the divine soul unity realm. With you, the 9-domain world will be stable." Night Sorrow said, "Ehe, are you worried that she will hate me and attack me? I am not afraid. When you go to deal with the Black Armor King and the others, it will be a group battle. I have to go." Heavenly Concubine said. She knew that Night Sorrow was worried that she would become Zhu Juyin's target. "Of course you have to take part in the battle with the Black Armor King and the others. Otherwise, I won't be able to stop the 5 of them." Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting and laughing with Heavenly Concubine, Night Sorrow relaxed a lot. Then he returned to the clear sky pagoda beside the lake. He wanted to cultivate the 1,000 Realms defensive body in the time acceleration. The celestial realm had stabilized. However, the 9-domain world was not stable. There were signs of people in the barren areas. Some races in the celestial realm had settled in. All of this was arranged by the 9-domain world's commander-in-chief residence, according to the plan and map. After these people settled in, they would start building the city. These people had a fixed area. The 9-domain world's commander-in-chief residence had stipulated that the new forces could only build, live, and cultivate. They had to use the teleportation formation to go out. Although the conditions sounded harsh, the people who were asked to accept it happily. They knew that they were lucky. Many people wanted to enter the 9-domain world, but did not have a way. Other than those arranged by the commander-in-chief residence, no one else could enter. The Lu family's villa was under construction in the Taiqing domain. Yi Shaluo was there, and kept giving orders. Jingyu and Langli were there too. This was the villa of Lu Qi's family. Lu Yu was in charge of it. Lu Qi felt that it was not too late for the Lu family to enter the 9-domain world later. However, Lin Piaomiao and the others had already arranged it. The 9-domain world is really different. It is prosperous but very harmonious. Langli said. They had used the teleportation formation to pass through many cities. They had a rough understanding of the 9-domain world, especially the scenery of the Night Moon City. It is unique in the world. However, the tombstones in the city look a little tragic. Lu Yu said. That is the tombstone of the Yi family's ancestors who died in battle. That is also the tombstone of my father's rise. Back then my father started from there. He worked hard for the rise of the Night Moon City alone. He started a war against the few empires in the Taiqing domain alone. Do you know how old my father was at that time? He was only around 20 years old. Yi Shaluo said. The rise of the human emperor is the interpretation of positive energy. It is a legend. It is a legend that cannot be replicated. This legend is still continuing. Lu Yu said with some emotion. Yes, the legend is still continuing. Jingyu and the others' eyes were filled with admiration and respect. Shaluo, your father is not accepting disciples? If he does, I will go to your door and kneel for 7 days and 7 nights. Lu Yu said with a smile. Chapter 23:17. Some people would take in a large number of disciples after they become successful. Then they would establish their own forces and continue their legacy. Why didn't the human emperor have such plans? Langli didn't understand. My father didn't have such thoughts. He is a sensitive person. There is a reason why he took in senior brother Ning and senior sister Chiyue. My father watched senior brother Ning grow up. He came from a poor family. Hence, my father wanted him to have a good life. Senior sister Chiyue wasn't happy when she was young either. Because of the war, her entire family died in the war. My father treated her as a family member. My senior sister Chiyue calls my father uncle in private. There is another person who learned from my father but didn't take him as a disciple. However, it doesn't matter. He is now my big brother-in-law. Yi Shaluo said. The last person he mentioned was Zhan Yi. Johnny indeed didn't need to take him as a disciple. Night Sorrow, as his martial uncle, would teach him as his father-in-law. ZB more knew most of fast up OSB, so complicated. People die in war. Your senior sister Chiyue didn't have it easy either. Lu Yu said. That's right. That war was commanded by my father. The opponent was the current Profound Mysteries realm. At that time, the leader of the Profound Mysteries realm was the current Humanitarian League's chief steward Jun. They were the ones who started the war against the Nine Regions world. To the Nine Regions world. That war was a war that could be easily broken through. Yi Xiaoluo explained. It's good that he can treat the family members of his fallen subordinates well. Jingyu nodded. That's not it. None of the men under my father's command that I know have died in battle. My senior sister Chiyue was from the Profound Mysteries realm. She was killed by the Nine Regions world. At this moment, Yi Qingyan arrived. She heard that Yi Xiaoluo had been mingling around here. Hence, she came over to take a look. Let me introduce you. My elder sister, the young miss of our city in the sky. Other than my parents, she is the most important person. Yi Xiaoluo pulled on Yi Qingyan's sleeves and introduced her. Greetings, young realm lord. Lang Li and the others bowed. They knew that Yi Xiaoluo didn't care about status and titles. However, they didn't know Yi Qingyan. Hence, they couldn't be rude. Please don't call me that. Just call me Qingyan. Yi Qingyan shook her head. In that case, elder sister Qingyan, please take a seat. Earlier, elder sister Qingyan said that elder sister Chiyue's family was killed by the people of the Nine Regions world. Doesn't she hate the commander of that time, your father? Lu Yu asked. The war was not started by my father, or the Nine Regions world. It was started by the Profound Mysteries realm, and the Nine Regions world. After the war, my father took away those homeless children, and established the Holy Church to take charge of their education. My father doesn't owe anyone anything in this matter. Everyone in the Profound Mysteries realm knows this. She felt the need to say that in her heart, in the hearts of all the people in the Nine Regions world, her father was not tainted. You've done your best. That's probably why the Nine Regions world is so harmonious. Jingyu nodded. You are all my little brother's friends. Take care of things here, and come to Sky City as guests. You haven't been there yet, right? Yi Qingyan invited them. That's right. It's mainly because I'm nervous to see the human emperor. Jingyu rubbed his forehead. My father is in seclusion and probably won't be able to see him. You can go. My little brother and little sister are both at home. It'll be more lively. Yi Qingyan smiled. Lu Yu, where's Kiki? Yi Xiaoluo looked at Jingyu and the others and asked. I don't know. She won't be with us for long. She'll leave after a while. She'll inform us when she returns. Chiyue said. After Lu Yu took care of everything, the group went to Night Moon City first. Lu Yu and the others bought some fruits and gifts and went to Sky City. The Yi family naturally welcomed them warmly. Greetings, madams. Jingyu and the others bowed. Night Sorrow's family was the most respected group of people in the Nine Regions world. It was hard for ordinary people to see them. Don't stand on ceremony. Sit. It's rare for guests to come to Sky City. Just treat this place as your home. Xiaoluo, take care of them. Datura said. Yes, we have to take care of them. Introduce them to your brothers and sisters. Lin Piaomiao also instructed Yi Xiaoluo. Mother and aunt, don't worry. Yi Xiaoluo stood up and bowed. He was arrogant and unrestrained outside, but he was obedient at home. There's no need to introduce them. They're just like my fourth brother. They're all scammers. Yi Xiaoke came out and said directly. You bastard. How can you say that? Lin Piaomiao slapped him. However, Yi Xiaoluo went to Datura's side. Mother, I'm just joking. Back then my brothers, sister Chiyue, and sister Kiki risked their lives to give me a chance to retreat. I still remember this favor. So when I heard that my brothers and sister Chiyue were coming, I immediately came to receive them. Yi Xiaoke explained. He knew that if he didn't explain clearly he would be punished. At least you understand. Go and receive them with your fourth brother. Lin Piaomiao glared at Yi Xiaoke. Then Lin Piaomiao and the others talked about dinner and left. Shaluo, your mother and aunt are so beautiful. So beautiful that it makes people feel pressured. July said. That's right. My father has good taste. Yi Xiaoke said. The days were peaceful. Black Armor King and the others didn't move. Night Sorrow didn't move either. Night Sorrow felt that Black Armor King and the others wouldn't move for a period of time. In the previous battle, Night Sorrow had injured all 5 of them. The forbidden energy had invaded their bodies. It was very difficult for Black Armor King and the others to remove the forbidden energy from their bodies. The forbidden energy surpassed the supreme energy. Its damage and toughness were extremely strong. If Night Sorrow killed his energy into his opponent's bodies, they wouldn't be able to refine and remove it in a short period of time. It could even be said that it was impossible. If ordinary energy wanted to refine the forbidden energy, it would be like a wooden knife cutting through iron. It wouldn't be able to cut through it. When Night Sorrow was at the entrance of the space tunnel, he had cultivated his body to the late stage of the 8th Emperor Tribulation. However, there was a huge gap between the late stage of the 8th Emperor Tribulation and the 9th Emperor Tribulation. It was a huge bottleneck. It wasn't easy to break through. Fortunately, Night Sorrow had accumulated some resources for cultivating his body. He could use the boundless body tempering art to continuously strengthen his body, using quantity to achieve qualitative change. Other than looking at the construction of the Lu clan's manor, Lu Yu and the others often went to the city in the sky. Lin Piaomiao and the others were also very welcoming. Lin Piaomiao and Lu Qi's relationship was very good. She also found that Lu Yu and Yi Xiaoluo's relationship was very good. There were already signs that they could develop further. After cultivating the 1,000 Worlds defensive body to the 7th realm, the 8th realm was beginning to take shape. Night Sorrow's 9-domain doppelganger appeared mainly to understand the current situation and situation. Chapter 23:18. After hearing that nothing had changed, Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was the calm before the storm. Black Armor King and the others were in a state of hibernation. Zhu Jiuyin, or rather, Demon Nine Clouds, was also in a state of hibernation. No matter which side it was, they were all preparing. Once they were ready, the war would break out. When that time came, it would be a great war that would decide the fate of the world. Lu Yu, how is your ancestor recently? After hearing Lin Piaomiao's report, Night Sorrow looked at Lu Yu and asked. I don't know. Recently, I have been in charge of the construction of the Lu clan's manor in the 9 regions world. I haven't seen him. Lu Yu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that he wasn't the only one who was busy with cultivation. The others were also busy with other things. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow took the 9 regions map that Lin Piaomiao gave him and walked around. He also looked at the territories of the various factions. After looking at it, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. This was because all the people from the various factions were moving around within the designated areas. Night Sorrow walked around the eastern Xian region again. He also went to the Saint Hall to take a look. He even gave some pointers to the cultivation of a few young men. He was wearing a plain white robe. These new students didn't recognize him. They only felt that what he said made sense. That was why they listened to Night Sorrow's pointers. After giving some pointers to the students, he touched the reclining chair that he used to sit on. The reclining chair was already shiny because it was often cleaned. Night Sorrow shook his head with a smile and left. After Night Sorrow left, the students started debating whether they should listen to someone they had never seen before. Should we listen to him? You guys are really... I don't know what to say. No matter who he gives pointers to, they would gladly accept it and even feel lucky. Bei Tiangu appeared. Now he and Shui Wuling were in charge of the Saint Hall. Noticing Night Sorrow's arrival and that Night Sorrow didn't plan to meet anyone, Bei Tiangu didn't disturb him. He only came out to speak after hearing the students' discussion. Vice Hall Master knows that. Hall Master. That person is the Hall Master. The boy who spoke suddenly matched Night Sorrow with the portrait. Yes, he is the Hall Master of our Saint Hall, the World Master of the 9 regions world. Do you think you should listen to his guidance? Shui Wuling also showed up. He used to be an invincible venerable from the Qingtian domain. He left the family affairs to the younger generation and stayed in the Saint Hall. In the 9 Domains World Saint Halls, the Vice Hall Masters were often changed, but there was only one Hall Master, and that was Night Sorrow. Then why didn't the 2 Vice Hall Masters come out just now to persuade the Hall Master to stay? Another student who was being instructed asked. You don't understand. The Hall Master is busy now, very busy. He doesn't have much time. Our appearance will inevitably lead to some social activities. The Hall Master will come again when he has time, said Bai Tiange. Upon hearing Bai Tiange's words, the students nodded. They were grateful to Night Sorrow. They came from poor families and were taken in by the Saint Hall to begin their martial arts journey. Night Sorrow walked around Bamboo Garden City and then went to the Medicine Valley area. He just stood in the air and looked at the Medicine Valley from afar for a while before leaving. Night Sorrow wanted to take a look, but he didn't want to cause any unnecessary trouble. If he went, Gong Xian and the others would definitely receive him. That would be another round of trouble. In a small courtyard behind Danding Peak in the Medicine Valley, Gong Xian looked at his wife, Tang Qianqian. 13 came back, but he left again. I guess he didn't want to disturb us. He's still worried about the Medicine Valley. It's not that he's worried. It should be said that the Medicine Valley is his biggest concern. Tang Qianqian corrected Gong Xian. Night Sorrow didn't deliberately hide his aura when he appeared, so some people knew about it. However, they could understand why Night Sorrow was in such a situation, and why he didn't enter. Gong Xian nodded. He felt sorry for Night Sorrow, but he understood that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to do and couldn't stop. The responsibility of the 9 Domains world was on his shoulders. Senior brother, there are many foreign races in the 9 Domains world. How's the situation? Are they being ostracized? Asked Tang Qianqian. Not yet. The 9 Domains world has been expanding. If the empty space under their rule is bigger, then the great wilderness will be empty. In the future, demon beasts will run rampant, and the people who will suffer will be the common people and low-level cultivators. The troops of the 100 races in the celestial realm are restricted by the Commander-in-Chief's office. They won't mess around. 13 won't allow anyone to mess around, Gong Xian said. The stability of the 9 Domains world was brought by 13. The people of the 9 Domains world believe in 13. Tang Qianqian nodded. After strolling around, Night Sorrow arrived at the Commander-in-Chief's office. In the Commander-in-Chief's office, Night Sorrow saw Huang Ling, Wu Lingfei, Tai Shuyan, Yin Tianlong and Yi Linghuan. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at the group of people and sat down on the main seat. The main seat was empty, so it was his seat. No matter if he came or not, no one would sit there. Huang Ling cupped her hands at Night Sorrow and told him about the arrangements and progress of the troops of the 100 races in the celestial realm. Very good. Don't invade the living area of the demon beasts. There is a balance between life. If there is no natural enemy, then the cultivator's motivation will be small. Everyone should control this, Night Sorrow reminded them. Diyang Jiu B6 Free PFUC small, H said H asterisk. Huang Ling and the others nodded. They understood what Night Sorrow said. Then I'll have to trouble everyone. I'll be in the city in the sky. If you have anything to do, you can go there. Aunt Fei, when you're free, bring Lord Ling Huang to the city in the sky. Night Sorrow got up and left after saying that. There's a lot of pressure. In front of Lord Tran Hung and Lord King Yawu, there's no such pressure, Huang Ling muttered. Huang Ling muttered. She felt that Yi Shang's words were calm, but there was no room for doubt or rebuttal. After returning to the city in the sky, Night Sorrow accompanied his parents, wife, and children for dinner. Shaluo, where's your friend? Why isn't she in the city in the sky? Night Sorrow asked Yi Shaluo after drinking a cup of wine with his father, Yi Wuyo. The construction of the Lu family's manor is in the final stage. Lu Yu and the others want to go and take a look, Yi Shaluo said. Shaluo, do you like that girl? If you do, just say it and let your father propose marriage. Lin Piamiao looked at Yi Shaluo and asked. Auntie, let's wait for a while more. There are some things that we didn't say clearly. It's a little awkward to suddenly mention it now. Yi Shaluo shook his head. Night Sorrow nodded at Yi Shaluo. He supported his son's matters. As long as his son asked, he would propose marriage. After spending a few days with his family, Night Sorrow's 9 realms doppelganger entered the clear sky pagoda again. The main body cultivated the realm, while the doppelganger pursued the improvement of the power of the battle skills. If it was effective, then when the war came, both the cultivation realm and the power of the battle skills would increase. Demon Nine Clouds sent Devil Feather to search for traces of the ancient cultivators, but Devil Feather did not find Devil Feather, because in the celestial realm, only Night Sorrow knew the location of the Black Armor King and the others. Chapter 23:19. Demon Nine Clouds' idea was to recruit some ancient cultivators. If she could recruit them, then it would be easier to conquer the celestial realm. After all, the occupation of the celestial realm also required strong suppression and rule. But Mo Yuqing and the others could not find any information about the ancient cultivators. Demon Nine Clouds also had no other way. She could not enter the ancient world. Before the original body awakened and reached its peak strength, Demon Nine Clouds did not want to have a conflict with the 100 races of the celestial realm, because she was not sure. Diyong square root Geoji free. Look at Little Peasy. Demon Nine Clouds had a plan for the future. She was currently cultivating, and when she reached the high-level Emperor Tribulation, she could return to the Demon Imperial City. At that time, the original body had not awakened, but when the avatar and the original body merged, the original body would awaken. If the original body had already awakened, then the two bodies could cultivate to the God-Soul Unity stage. Once they reached the God-Soul Unity stage, they could then fuse with the original body. Once they reached that stage, Mo Juyin felt that there was a high chance of him surviving the God-destroying tribulation. Demon Nine Clouds muttered to herself. Mo Yuqing did not dare to utter a word. Facing Demon Nine Clouds, she was under a lot of pressure, and did not even dare to breathe loudly. This was the pressure of a superior. I asked you to control a heaven wasteland soldier, did you do it? Demon Nine Clouds asked. Replying to my lord, we did it. Mo Yuqing bowed. Good, if there is a chance we will return. Hearing this news, Demon Nine Clouds nodded with satisfaction. This news was good news for her. Demon Nine Clouds' original body had been cultivating, and did not waste any time to improve. She was also anxious, because she knew that Night Sorrow had a strong sense of strategy. It would not be long before the 100 races of the celestial realm attacked the Demon Imperial City, and the Demon Imperial City was already shrouded in crisis. Time passed little by little. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, the development of the 9 domains world was on the right track. The construction of the encampment of the 100 races in the celestial realm had been completed, and had begun to develop steadily. There were also many great emperors in the 9 domains world. Gong Xian, Yu Yangyu, and Yi Linghuan had all become great emperors. Tai Shuyan had also entered the great emperor realm. This was a chain reaction brought about by the development of the 9 domains. Night Sorrow did not participate in these banquets to celebrate his ascension to martial emperor, because he was in seclusion. In the world of ordinary people, 100 years might be a lifetime, but in the life of a cultivator, 100 years was just an instant. 100 years passed in the blink of an eye, and Night Sorrow came out of seclusion. He had cultivated his body to the peak of the 8th Emperor Tribulation, and he needed to transcend his tribulation. He had also cultivated the 1,000 Worlds defensive body to the 12 Worlds boundary. Night Sorrow did not tell anyone that he was going to transcend his tribulation. The 9th Emperor Tribulation was a worrisome tribulation, and it was also the greatest tribulation besides the God Extermination Tribulation. In the depths of the great wilderness, Night Sorrow's 9 domains doppelganger stood outside. His main body activated his cultivation, and attracted the tribulation. The tribulation lightning was very overbearing, and there were 9 waves in one wave. Fortunately, Night Sorrow's protective energy was strong, and he withstood wave after wave, using the tribulation lightning to temper his body. After the 9th wave of tribulation lightning, Night Sorrow withstood 81 waves of tribulation lightning. His robe was torn, and the corner of his mouth was dark red. After transcending the tribulation lightning, Night Sorrow's energy was exhausted. It's okay. If my doppelganger enters my body, I won't be injured. Night Sorrow wiped the corner of his mouth and made a calculation. Night Sorrow absorbed the energy of the tribulation and started to cultivate, stabilizing his cultivation. No one knew that Night Sorrow had already reached the 9th Emperor Tribulation level. Night Sorrow's body had transcended the 9th Emperor Tribulation, and with the method of proving the Tao through strength, it was only a matter of time before his true Qi realm entered the 9th Emperor Tribulation. After absorbing the Tribulation Lightning's energy, Night Sorrow entered the Clear Sky Pagoda to stabilize his cultivation. His main body had advanced, and his doppelganger had changed along with his main body, reaching the same realm as his main body. The 9 Domains doppelganger used Primordial Destruction / and Reincarnation True Dragon Kill. Night Sorrow felt that once his main body stabilized his realm, he would be able to fight. Night Sorrow roared towards the sky and returned to the city in the sky. In the city in the sky, the Yi family could not see Night Sorrow's cultivation. They only felt that Night Sorrow was in a good mood. However, there was someone who knew what was good. The heavenly concubine appeared in Night Sorrow's mansion. You're not bad. You sneakily transcended the 9th Emperor Tribulation, and now your body's strength is simply indescribable. The heavenly concubine was shocked when she saw Night Sorrow. She never thought that a cultivator could cultivate their body to this realm. The heavenly concubine examined Night Sorrow's flesh, bones, and tendons. They were all made of tiny energy crystals. Each crystal contained dense energy. Hee. I can't hide it from you. I just successfully transcended the tribulation, and my body entered the 9th Emperor Tribulation level. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You can fight in this state. When are we going to kill Black Armor King and the others? The heavenly concubine asked. My main body is stabilizing his realm. There's no rush to fight. They can't escape from our hands. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Hearing the conversation between Night Sorrow and the heavenly concubine, Lin Piaomiao, Datura, Shueshi, and the others were very happy. There were only 3 cultivators who had transcended the 9th Emperor Tribulation in the celestial realm. After an entire reincarnation cycle, close to 1 trillion years, there were only 3 cultivators above the 9th Emperor Tribulation, Tran Hung, King Yao, and Elder Duan. Moreover, these 3 had only reached this level in the last 2 eras. Then we'll wait for your news. I have no problem with when to fight, the heavenly concubine said. Night Sorrow, heavenly concubine isn't coming. Are you not going to tell us? Lin Piaomiao glanced at Night Sorrow and said with dissatisfaction. That's not it. I was organizing my words just now. I was thinking about what to say so that you wouldn't scold me and not worry about me, Yishan explained. Your intentions are good. We forgive you. 9th Emperor Tribulation. We only thought that you had the potential to become an emperor. Now that I think about it, we really didn't have foresight. Datura said with a smile. Do you feel a sense of accomplishment when you threaten the Merit Emperor and kill him if he doesn't marry you? Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Chiyu, my son is already so old. He's already an emperor. How embarrassing it is for you to say that. Datura said with a smile. However, she wasn't embarrassed at all. She was a woman who could let go of things easily. Everyone was happy. Naturally, they drank to celebrate. Night Sorrow, you're in the middle stage of the 8th Emperor Tribulation. It won't take you long to reach the 9th Emperor Tribulation. Aren't you going to wait until you reach the 9th Emperor Tribulation? The heavenly concubine looked at Night Sorrow and asked. We're not going to wait anymore. Now that we're strong enough, we can use our strength to turn it into battle results. Black Armor King and the others must be eliminated. Also, there's the Demon Imperial City. Sorry, I have to try and see if I can take down the Demon Imperial City. Night Sorrow looked at Heavenly Concubine and apologized. You're here again. I don't care about these things. I just want to see the 9 Zones world develop well. When I'm in the mood, I might take in a disciple and leave behind my inheritance. Then I'll try the God Tribulation. Take in a disciple and leave behind your inheritance? It's better to give birth to one yourself. Yang Lei said with a smile. Chapter 2320. Night Sorrow's true body stabilized his realm while his battle avatar stared at Black Armor King and the others. Since the 9-domain avatars couldn't leave the 9-domain world, Lin Piaomiao was in charge of preparing for the war. The heavenly concubine was also ready to fight at any time. There were 5 Black Armor Kings. Night Sorrow's true body and avatar could deal with 2 of them. As for the other 3, others had to hold them back and buy him time to kill them. This required King Yewu, the heavenly concubine, and Tran Hung. King Yewu received the news and arrived at the 9-domain world. When he saw Night Sorrow, he was stunned for a moment before laughing out of joy and excitement. "Martial Uncle is here. Have a seat." Night Sorrow invited King Yewu to sit down and brewed a pot of tea. After sizing up Night Sorrow again, King Yewu took a sip of tea. "You're not far from the 9 Emperor Tribulation. Are you sure you don't want to wait?" "No, I'm more than twice as strong as when I was fighting in the ancient world. Killing them won't be a problem." Night Sorrow nodded. "Turning your strength into battle results to avoid trouble is the right thing to do. Martial Uncle will return to Night Moon Villa and wait. When you're about to fight, Martial Uncle will inform Lord Tran Hung to gather." King Yewu was confident. 100 years ago, when he fought with the ancient cultivators, it wasn't difficult for Night Sorrow to kill Xianhua, Xiancheng, and Lu Shi. At that time, there were other Soul Unity Realm ancient cultivators holding them back. Now the situation was much better. If he attacked again, Black Armor King and the others wouldn't have a chance to live. After King Yewu left, Night Sorrow thought for a moment before leaving the city in the sky and arriving at a mansion in the 9-domain world. "Greetings, my lord." A woman in the courtyard bowed. "You're welcome. I came to you because I have something for you to do. From today onwards, you will lead your legion commanders to patrol the area according to this map. Pay attention to the forces circled in red. See if they have violated the rules of the 9 regions World Commander-in-Chief's residence. If they do, capture them and bring them to the 9 regions World Commander-in-Chief's residence." Night Sorrow said to the woman. This woman was Fire Dance. She was once the commander of the Fire Dance Corps during the Doomsday in the Celestial Realm. Now she was in the 9 Domains world, waiting for Night Sorrow's orders. "Don't worry, Realm Lord. Huowu will definitely handle this matter well." Huowu nodded and received the map with both hands. After giving the instructions, Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky. He had to make some arrangements. The older generation of the Celestial Realm's 100 races would understand his determination to protect the 9 Domains world. He was just afraid that some of the second-generation young masters would do something excessive. Next, it was time to prepare for war. It was not the 9 Domains world, but the Celestial Realm. Tran Hung, King Yewu and the others knew that when Night Sorrow dealt with the Black Armor King and the others, he would go to the Demon Imperial City to fight the Demon Winged Clan. Night Sorrow used a month in the real world to stabilize his realm. During this month, the Celestial Realm had completed their preparations. Night Sorrow's main body came out of seclusion and brought the heavenly concubine to Night Moon Manor. Battle. King Yewu asked when he saw Night Sorrow and the heavenly concubine. "Yes. Call Lord Tran Hung over. Let's go and deal with the Black Armor King and the others together." Night Sorrow nodded. He was already prepared. King Yewu crushed Tran Hung's soul crystal and sent a message. In less than an hour, Tran Hung appeared. Nodding at the heavenly concubine, Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's progress was astonishing. "Since the city lord is here, we should hurry up. Otherwise, the heavenly desolate city will be empty," Night Sorrow said. "Then let's go." Tran Hung nodded. He was also worried about the safety of the heavenly desolate city. The Demon Winged Clan's spies had always been active in the Celestial Realm. Of course, if they dealt with the Demon Imperial City, Mo Zhantian, Mo Yutian, and the other leaders of the Demon Winged Clan, the Demon Winged Clan would have nothing to rely on. Their spies would be useless. Under Night Sorrow's lead, the group flew towards the Celestial Realm's wasteland to meet up with Night Sorrow's doppelganger. During the flight, Night Sorrow and the others sat down and talked, mainly about the Ancient World Group. Night Sorrow, the crisis in the Ancient World Group has been resolved. The 100 races of the Celestial Realm have not stopped attacking the Ancient World Group. The heavenly desolate army often goes into fight. Because many ancient cultivators escaped last time, news of our strength has spread. Some ancient cultivators no longer dare to come, King Yawu said. There must be someone guarding the ancient world's space passage. When the time comes, we'll take turns. Knight Sorrow said. You don't have to worry about these things. Uncle and the city lord will take care of these things, King Yawu said. Yes, you need time to cultivate. We'll take care of these things. Also, thank you for the soul-nourishing herb, Tran Hung said. B+C+ correct. Chapter U, Section B. As the group talked, they were getting closer and closer to the area where Knight Sorrow's doppelganger was. After half a day, Knight Sorrow's original body led Tran Hung and the others to meet up with his doppelganger. How do we fight? Tran Hung asked. They are no match for us. There is no doubt about that. What I'm afraid of is that they will burn their blood essence and soul power to escape. That will be troublesome, King Yawu said. Yes, we won't fight to the death with them. They will burn their blood essence, but we won't. It's best if the three of you can hold them back. It's fine if you can't. I can chase after them by following their soul imprints. Also, we have a clairvoyant with us, Knight Sorrow said. Then Knight Sorrow and the others arrived at the area where Black Armor King and the others' spatial treasures were. Let me see if I can kill one of them first. Knight Sorrow controlled the fire of merit and wrapped it around Black Armor King's spatial treasure. Then it seeped inside. Black Armor King, who was meditating to recover, was shocked. He hurriedly ran out of the spatial treasure. As soon as Black Armor King came out of the spatial treasure, he was suppressed by the precept domain. Knight Sorrow's original body and doppelganger used the precept domain to suppress him. Then two divine spears appeared. Black Armor King blocked the spear that was aimed at his forehead. However, the blood-chilling evil-slaying spear penetrated his body from behind. At that moment, a long sword flashed out of the void and directly hit the back of Black Armor King's head, cutting it open. It was Tran Hung. After Knight Sorrow attacked, she cut through Black Armor King's divine sea. Fire of merit. Knight Sorrow controlled the fire of merit and wrapped it around Black Armor King's spiritual body. Then the Samsara halberd and the blood-chilling evil-slaying spear attacked Black Armor King's spiritual body in the fire of soul. Tran Hung, King Yawu, and the heavenly concubine also attacked together. Energy trembled as they attacked Black Armor King's spiritual body. This was a war, not a one-on-one fight. The goal was to kill. Chapter 23-21. As soon as the Black Armor King died, Lai Feng and the others appeared. They felt the energy vibrations and investigated. When they saw the scene of the Black Armor King's death, they all lost their confidence to fight. They left the spatial treasure and ran. I said that once you entered, you would not be able to return. You were destined to die, but you still came in. Knight Sorrow's original body and doppelganger attacked the two strongest people. Tran Hung also attacked one of them. King Yawu and the heavenly concubine worked together to suppress the remaining one. The battle was originally 4 against 4. But Knight Sorrow had a doppelganger, so it was a 5-man team. However, Knight Sorrow suppressed 2 of them. At this moment, Knight Sorrow's ability to fight above his level was displayed. Every move of the Samsara halberd would send Lai Feng flying, causing him to spit out blood. Lai Feng also wanted to run, but he couldn't. He was suppressed by Knight Sorrow's forbidden virtue domain. It was difficult for him to even move. Let me go. Lai Feng roared. You are too crazy. You are not on the same side as us. I gave you a few chances, but you didn't cherish them. Kill. Knight Sorrow's soul destruction / towards Lai Feng's spirit sea. Lai Feng's eyes were filled with fear. Knight Sorrow's combat power was too tyrannical. It was unprecedented. It was not recorded in any of the ancient world's inheritances. He didn't even have the courage to fight now because he saw the Black Armor King die instantly. After losing the will to fight, the result was obvious. In just a moment, Lai Feng's head was smashed by Knight Sorrow. The fire of virtue enveloped his soul body. Knight Sorrow rushed towards the battle between King Yawu and the heavenly concubine. The forbidden virtue domain suppressed this fast ancient cultivator, who was constantly moving and trying to escape. Night Sorrow saw that Tran Hung was the strongest in terms of control. She suppressed her opponent to the point that he couldn't escape. The ancient cultivator fighting King Yawu and the heavenly concubine was faster. His body emitted a red light. If he didn't suppress him, he would run away. That was the sign of burning blood essence. Latest UD chapter B_on_D. The heavenly concubine and King Yawu rushed toward the Tran Hung's battle. They knew that the ancient cultivators targeted by Night Sorrow would not be able to escape. They did not need to care about them. They just needed to help the Tran Hung. Suppressed by Night Sorrow's Merit Dao domain, the Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators lost their speed and could not run. In less than 15 minutes, the bodies of the two ancient cultivators were killed by Night Sorrow's main body and avatar respectively. Together with Lai Feng, the three souls were suppressed by the Human Emperor's seal and Night Sorrow's Virtue Dao domain, and burned by the flames of virtue. Seeing that Tran Hung and the other two had suppressed and severely injured their opponents, Night Sorrow was no longer in a hurry. His two spears kept attacking the three souls in the virtuous fire. After a short while, the souls of Lai Feng and the other two were all destroyed, leaving behind only the divine infant pearls. Suppress. Night Sorrow did not attack again. He only used his Virtue Dao domain to suppress the last ancient cultivator, allowing Tran Hung and the other two to attack more smoothly. The battle ended very quickly. None of the 5 ancient cultivators escaped. In the past, I've killed Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators before. Back then I had to fight for a very long time. The fastest one had to fight for 3 days before he died. However, in the blink of an eye, 5 Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivators were annihilated. Chen Huang lamented. It's mainly because of Night Sorrow's tyrannical combat strength, King Yawu said with a smile. The battle ended smoothly. None of the Black Armor King and the other 4 escaped. It was a great victory. The virtuous fire is indeed tyrannical when it comes to destroying souls. Night Sorrow smiled and took out a few jars of wine. With the crisis of the ancient cultivators resolved, only the demon-winged clan was left. The pressure was much lighter. Everyone was happy. Naturally, they drank to celebrate. The spoils of war were also divided. Night Sorrow took 2 of the 5 spoils of war. He also took the bodies of the Black Armor King and another demonic beast ancient cultivator. He still needed demonic beast blood essence. After the battle ended, Night Sorrow felt that his power of virtue had increased by a lot. It was a great victory. After returning to the Night Moon Villa, the heavenly concubine left. Night Sorrow and the others discussed attacking the demon-winged clan. She did not want to participate. Night Sorrow, there's no need to ask Sect Elder Duan to come back. The main problem in this battle is whether we can break the Demon Imperial City. If we can, then Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian's combat strength will be far inferior to the ancient cultivators, King Yawu said. Yes, the key is whether we can break the Demon Imperial City. Gather everyone. If we can break it, then we will directly disperse the Demon-Winged clan and wipe them out, Night Sorrow said. When the people of the 100 races of the Celestial Realm gathered, Mo Yuqing received the news and hurriedly told Demon Nine Clouds. The Demon Imperial City is most likely in danger. Let the Heaven Wasteland soldiers under your control carry this spatial treasure into Heaven Wasteland. Demon Nine Clouds took out a spatial treasure and handed it to Mo Yuqing. Then he and his doppelganger entered. The 100 races of the Celestial Realm started a war. Demon Nine Clouds felt that it was a crisis for the Demon Imperial City, and also an opportunity for her to return. If the Demon Imperial City was not broken, then the Demon-Winged clan would have an advantage in this war. Her awakening and recovery would not be a problem. But if the Demon Imperial City was broken, then the Demon-Winged clan would have to lie low and wait for her to wake up and return. Mo Yuqing arranged everything. Demon Nine Clouds' spatial treasure was carried by the Heaven Wasteland soldiers, and smoothly entered Heaven Wasteland. Finding that the key figures of the 100 races of the Celestial Realm had not yet arrived and the people were still gathered, Demon Nine Clouds commanded the Heaven Wasteland soldiers under his control to leave the group. Then they came out of the spatial treasure and flew toward the Demon Imperial City. Back in the Demon Imperial City, Demon Nine Clouds looked at the huge demon imperial city and felt a little emotional. This was something deep in her memory. The moment Mo Juyun appeared, the aura of a superior being emitted from his body caused all the devil-winged race to prostrate themselves on the ground. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian also appeared and bowed in greeting. Even though they were both at the Divine Soul Unity realm, they still couldn't withstand the aura of Mo Juyun. The attack of the 100 races of the celestial realm has begun. Now except for the two of you, everyone else retreat, Demon Nine Clouds ordered. Yes. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian bowed and accepted the order. It was not difficult for the demon-winged clan to move, because most of them had already retreated. Then the demon imperial city became an empty city. My lord, can the demon imperial city not be defended? Mo Zhantian asked. It will be difficult. Night Sorrow is the virtuous emperor and his combat strength is not inferior to the former Sky Emperor Ji Dao, Star King, Flame Emperor Lai Yan, Golden Dragon King Tian Shirtian, Shura Empress Yi Tianxin and the others. Therefore we must be prepared to break the city, Demon Nine Clouds said. She was well aware of Night Sorrow's strength. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian were happy but also stressed. They were happy because of Demon Nine Clouds' return and stressed because the Demon Imperial City, which had remained unbroken for thousands of cycles, was facing the crisis of being breached. Chapter 23-22. Mo Zhantian nodded. He knew that Demon Nine Clouds had considered everything carefully. This way they would be able to minimize their losses. It was the best way to preserve their strength in the current situation where they were no match for them. Who is in charge of the array of Devil Imperial City now? Demon Nine Clouds looked at Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian and asked. This subordinate is in charge. Mo Zhantian bowed. He was a cultivator of the Divine Soul Unison realm, but his status was still very low in front of Demon Nine Clouds. Demon Nine Clouds was the most outstanding cultivator of the Devil-Winged clan in the previous reincarnation. He was the undisputed leader of the Devil-Winged clan. They are here. You will control the array to defend. If they break through the defense, return to this alternate dimension. Demon Nine Clouds instructed. My lord, even if a few of them break through, their strength will be greatly suppressed. Can't we try to fight? Mo Zhantian was unwilling to give up. No. If we can defend it, this seat will not give up on the Imperial City. You might not know this, but some time ago, many ancient cultivators of the Divine Soul Unison realm attacked the Celestial realm, but they were all defeated. Especially that Night Sorrow, he is extremely strong in fighting beyond his realm. He has no difficulty in killing Divine Soul Unison realm experts. If he is here to attack, it means that he has already dealt with those ancient cultivators. If we fight head-on, it will only increase the casualties. We will not be able to defend ourselves. Demon Nine Clouds said. She had analyzed that Night Sorrow would definitely prioritize the ancient cultivators. When he attacked the Devil Imperial City, the ancient cultivators would definitely be dealt with. We will do as my lord says. Mo Zhantian nodded. He knew that Demon Nine Clouds was right. Endure. Don't be constrained by the gains and losses of one city or one pool. When this seat returns, the entire celestial realm and the 9 domains world will be ours. Divine Emperor Realm. The final outcome of the war between the 100 tribes of the celestial realm and our demon-winged clan depends on which side has a Divine Emperor Realm practitioner first. And the first one to reach the Divine Emperor Realm must be me, Demon Nine Clouds. Demon Nine Clouds said coldly. After hearing Demon Nine Clouds' words, both Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian took 2 steps back because they felt the pressure. The forces of the celestial realm gathered and marched directly to the Tianhuang mountain. Tran Hung and King Yawu had arrived. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao had also arrived with the first army and the god-slaying squad. I can't see a single member of the Demon Wing clan, Tran Hung said. The Demon Winged clan has spies in the celestial realm. Their original bodies and avatars are in the celestial realm and the Demon Imperial City respectively. News travels very quickly. We can't hide our movements from them. Perhaps they have spies in the Heaven Wasteland army behind us, but so what? In the face of absolute strength, these are useless, Night Sorrow said. Haha. These words are so domineering. Uncle has been waiting for an entire reincarnation for the 100 tribes of the celestial realm to say these words. Now it's possible, King Yawu said. Then let's go. The army will march directly to the border, Night Sorrow said. Following Night Sorrow's order, the forces of the 100 tribes of the celestial realm began to march. Because it was a large group, their speed was relatively slow. It took them 3 days to reach the Demon Imperial City. In the Demon Imperial City, a huge head stood there. Black energy emitted from its 7 orifices and intertwined to form a large formation. *head #head it's this thing. Because of this damn thing, the 100 tribes of the celestial realm have been attacked by the Demon Wing Clan like live targets. Today, if we break the Demon Imperial City, the situation will change. The celestial realm will completely belong to the 100 tribes of the celestial realm. The Golden Dragon King said. Lord Golden Dragon King Tran Hung King Yawu, and I will attack in a while. You guys watch the troops. If there's a situation, you can make the decision to advance or retreat based on the timing. We can't take any risks, Night Sorrow said to the Golden Dragon King. The Golden Dragon King nodded. He knew that the key to this battle was whether or not they could break the Demon Imperial City. At this moment, Demon Nine Clouds was watching with Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian at the eyes of the Demon Imperial City. They're quite fast. We'll watch. If we can't hold on, we'll retreat. Demon Nine Clouds said. Her eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. She knew that the moment she left, she and Night Sorrow were mortal enemies. She knew that Night Sorrow was determined to defend the celestial realm and the 9 domains world. Demon Nine Clouds also saw Jun Xuanji, but her eyes did not stop. She continued to look for the heavenly concubine. After looking around and not seeing the heavenly concubine, Demon Nine Clouds shook her head. She knew that the heavenly concubine had left the Demon Wing Clan, but she was still unwilling to fight with them. Taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow flew toward the Demon Imperial City, with the Samsara heavenly halberd on his back. Tran Hung and King Yawu followed behind him. They could not break the Demon Imperial City, but they had to protect Night Sorrow. They could not let Night Sorrow get hurt while he was breaking the array. As Night Sorrow and the other two approached, the Demon Imperial City's Great Barrier Array unleashed its power. Wave after wave of energy rushed toward the 3 of them. How dare you be so impudent with the power of demons and monsters? Retreat! Night Sorrow shouted. He then released his Merit Taboo Precept Domain. Emperor-level Merit Energy supported the Peak High-Level Taboo Energy Precept Domain. Suddenly, the Precept Domain was surrounded by golden light. The black energy, or rather, the destructive energy, of the Demon Imperial City's Great Barrier Array was repelled. If the Demon Imperial City's Great Barrier Array was seawater, then Night Sorrow's Golden Precept Domain was an immovable rock. It was a clash between gold and black energy. It was a clash between righteous energy and evil energy. After withstanding the impact of the Great Barrier Array, Night Sorrow continued to move forward. He then arrived in front of the Demon Imperial City's huge skull. I'll break through wherever you're hard. I'll give you 8 holes in the 7 Fiend Array today, Night Sorrow growled. His Golden Precept Domain wrapped around Tran Hung and King Yawu and flew into the sky. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow and the other 2 arrived at the skull's glabella. Night Sorrow's clone appeared and used his Precept Domain to protect Tran Hung and King Yawu. His main body flew toward the skull's glabella. The Samsara heavenly halberd in his hand emitted an intense golden light. It was a golden flame. It was the Emperor-level Merit Fire. It was mixed with the taboo primordial energy. It was Night Sorrow's all-out attack. As the energy sputtered, a huge hole appeared in the Demon Imperial City's skull's glabella. There were also cracks extending in all directions. Thousand Realms Defense Body. Night Sorrow used the Thousand Realms Defense Body to block the sputtering energy produced by the collision of the 2 energies. Night Sorrow, who had been sent flying backward, charged forward again and attacked the skull's skull. Let's see how hard you are. Primordial Annihilation / My lord, I'll attack him and distract him from breaking the Demon Imperial City's defense. Mo Yutian said anxiously when he saw Night Sorrow breaking the Demon Imperial City's defense. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.